What's happening? That avatar, mate. Fuck me. Just while it's me and you, fellas, just tell you, or to me, you and Jimbo, I've just had my first half a joint there for about 6 months. Mate, I've literally just put it out, yeah. Won't tell anyone else though, so be warned. Whew. Fucking hell. See the Plums live, eh? We won't mention him anymore. I just hope I don't get a. Just hope he stays live, like keeps out the way of me. You know what I mean? So this one there, I went early because, well, it's not very often I have two people waiting. Not two people like Phil and Jimbo. You know what I mean? Got to have an alternative, haven't you? Yeah, so it should be pretty chilled out, man. I've got. I'll tell you all about the last few days in a bit, but I'll just set the scene, yeah? Let me set the scene for a minute. So, it's a bit gay there, isn't it? Why am I trying to move it out the way? Fuck me. Yeah, man, look how rough I look. I'm not even going to give Phil the satisfaction of saying anything about what that is on my chin there. Started 2 weeks ago, right, when I had my shave, yeah. So it's not very often I have a proper razor shave, you know what I mean? I just use these like clippers, but they're dead good. And I think they're like Japanese blades, you know what I mean? Anyway, I did it a couple of months ago. Went on the old skin with the. Anyway, cut a long story short, I did cut half my chin off. It took about a month. To sort out. Oh, fuck. I can tell about that joint already, man. Me. Yes, Lammy. What is happening? You know, in case I forget, right? Anyone who's in now, just keep reminding me about Saturday night, yeah? I just want to go over Saturday night because I haven't read the chat. I wasn't reading the chat. I was absolutely fucked. Not stoned or now. I was just knackered. And it hasn't really got much better since then, you know what I mean? Like, I've done 3 12-hour day shifts, getting up at 5, getting back in the house at 7, yeah? 14-hour days. Mate, try doing that with a cracked rib. A cracked fucking rib. Let me tell you. Honestly, man, you couldn't write it. I want to be back on the sick again, you know what I mean? Before I forget, right? I've got any mods in here. You know what? I'm going to have to get a few new mods because my mods have gone AWOL. You know what I mean? That's why Saturday night went mental, apparently. Look, trying to put the link out, right? Pressing the wrong buttons, everything. Let's see. Yeah, he might be in for a little bit of a treat then, the 9 of us at the minute. Yes, Randy, Peggy. What's happening, Peggy? I always keep an eye on our Peggy, you know. Not gonna lie. Peggy's been fucking sound with us, me and Louise, ever since we met her, man. So I always keep a little eye out like for Peggy. And a few others. This fella made a nice comment the other day. You know, because remember when Sean took his modern duties, you know, before he was a film director. Remember when he was a good mod? He used to put all his effort into being a mod. Imagine how good he could have been, right, if he'd have put as much effort that he does in Banter City with modding. I was already impressed. I always told him, you know, he didn't just share links and that. He always put a little witty remark before it. You know what I mean? I was used to, like, if I was in the chat, I'd say, "Good work, Sean." But he did make a nice comment the other day. He said he only goes on elite panels. What can I say, man? Elite. Sean Wayne thinks I'm elite. God. What the fuck is Bob Carter doing now? I thought he'd sorted himself out. And Sean, while you're here, mate, let me tell you, from me to you, he was on a live with his pants, with his trousers round his ankles or whatever it was, and he had some kids' boxer shorts on, mate. That's from me to you. There's a few other people who've seen it. I think it was on Flavors, but you know, it had died down a little bit. But when it was at its height last week, people were a few times, my name got shot in, like, by me at the moon, seeing you do it. And I haven't had no backlash on it from that, but he did do it though, Sean. I'm sure Liam's seen it as well. It can't be out there because somebody would have had that. I've been, honestly, I'm not, yes, Stevie Boy. I'm not gonna lie, right? Oh, there's one thing I would have loved last week. It was to have that clip. To have that clip. Just like the 2 minutes of when it happened. You know what I mean? Just the 2 minutes. And just go on to a panel, right? And where Bob was, like, preferably one with like about 200 people. Just jump up and say, "All right, Bob. So did you do that?" And then when he says no, I'll just say, "Oh, I think you did." Like, yeah, I've got the proof here, mate. Yes, brother. Get up there. Who remembers Dan? Get in there, Dan. Top gadget here, Dan. Did you see Darryl on the update? Did everyone else see that? Darryl was on, bro. He hasn't been on for a couple of months. And wasn't a surprise, like, he'd been texting me saying he was going to jump on. So I couldn't resist, like, I just put a little teaser out the other day and people just guessed straight away. But yeah, man, he was just Darryl, wasn't he? Come on, man, I had a good laugh. Yeah, so is that just a coincidence? Or have Newcastle just had a good win or something? Yeah, man. Yeah, we were on about all the old characters from back in the day, and you took it for granted. You know what I mean? At the time, it was just another live stream. But when you look back, we were just going through all the fucking, the Mad Lives and that. I mean, Darryl was loving it. You know what I mean? None of it was bad. He was just, no wonder he was on for like 3 hours. Just sat there like lapping it all up. But yeah, man, without blowing smoke up his scouse ass, like, it was good. I think I need to get my glasses, Phil, because I can't see. I can't see that essay that you just wrote. See if I can get me off the 3 pairs of eggs now, you know. I'm gonna go for the. One of them's like, they're a bit naughty. Turn me on. I'm just watching one of them fights from the BKFC, on which was the focus on Saturday night, wasn't it? And you know what? I had a quick look back because I tried. I felt bad that I didn't show the whole fight. You know what I mean? Or like, because I just couldn't risk it. But I haven't heard anything yet. about copyright or anything, but um, I did have a little look back just to see how much I showed, just disappointed that if I was going to show it, it could have been better quality. You know what I mean? You're going to get a copyright, but you might as well let everyone see it in like HD, not like the fuzzy one I showed. Oh, that's better. Now I can read it. What was this essay that you wrote here? Look at his avatar, by the way. Look at me. Just told you that gives you that avatar right there. Just gives you a little insight into what you're dealing with. I've always said it like an avatar. Well, an avatar. You should take your time over an avatar, shouldn't you? Not like Leslie, the orange gel. And like, it's just good that you put a bit of effort into it. You're reflecting your personality and your sense of humor, aren't you? So that's what Phil's reflecting there. You know. Oh no, well I thought it had died off. I know Sean said something. Sean said something like he was giving Bob a break, basically, wasn't he? So I thought that was it. But then it's all just kicked off again, man. I know Peggy, so what happened, I can't remember, right? But Peggy, which is weird, right, fell out with Daryl, and it's like, but honestly though, right, Pegs, me as well as me and Daryl get on, yeah. We don't. There's a few people who he really dislikes that I like, which is always a bit mad, isn't it? The I just forgot what I was going to say there. Yes, a brother. Oh, nice one, mate. Somebody else who's there's a few people on here, mate. Well, yeah, yes, a proper good mate of mine on here. One of my best mates on here. He's in the same boat as you, bro, and he's been having it tough lately. So that's why you haven't seen him. Plus, he's running the football team as well. Actually, text him. Well, no, he texted me today actually, which is always good. Honestly, believe it or not, right? I'm not even lying today. I haven't had one text message right uh, up until about 7 o'clock tonight. Not one text message. Can you believe that? Here he is. We got Mr. England. He's got every single one of his accounts blocked on Tuesdays, which is some feat. But yeah, also don't let me forget this one, right? The roast of tunes by T-Bag Tracy, right? Which you know it was like I listened to it live only because it was 5:15 in the morning, and I was on my way to work. I got up for the first early shift Monday, so this was going on Monday morning at 5. The roast of tunes. Oh my god! I think Mr. England was there. In fact, I'm pretty sure he was. There was some big guns in there. Respect though, Dan, mate. Respect. I've had half a joint. Hence, you talking shite. But respect, mate. So don't be a stranger, man. You know what I mean? Get the notification. Did you get a notification? Because that is a bit mad, like you. It's a bit mad you coming on there. There was a few mad coincidences last week. That was the weirdest one where Lammy had been watching. He'd never even heard of Daryl, or he'd heard of him, but he'd never watched any of his lives. And he actually went back a year and watched a few of Daryl's lives, which is like, I mean, I've done it a few times, but still takes some doing that. Like, done it to go back a year and watch somebody's live who you've never watched. And then for him to be on the panel the other day where Daryl had come out, that was just weird. There's no way this camera's staying on tonight. Look, man, before I was going like that, trying to get out of it. Can't even talk properly. Can't talk properly. Properly. Top shagger. Hey, Leo's top shagger now, isn't he? Somebody put a classic comment in the other day, like, one of the classics, and I forgot to screenshot it, but I remembered it anyway. It was, I think it was Distat. I think it was Distat, you know what I mean? Our Gadji from, Scouts Distat, don't you? Gadji, and yeah, he put in there, all right, Leo, I hear your bedroom, you've got a revolving door in your bedroom? Or how's the revolving door in your bedroom? No, it's honestly, you tell us how bad it is, right? A scale of like 1 to 10, if it gets past like 6 or 7, you gotta let us know, man. It's his fault. Are you this fella here? You know what I mean? Texting me saying, let us know what you think of that joint. Because he's smoking blunts. He's only been smoking weed a little bit. Oh, no way. He's only been smoking weed for a few years, right? He's top talker, man. He's top talker. You know what I mean? If there was, if there was a degree in weed smoking or just everything around weed, yeah, and music, he would like have a master's degree. He's given me a couple of bloods, and he knows it'll wreck me. That's why he's texting me saying, "Let us know what, let us know what the quality." It was me son by, or it is me son by the way. He'll be 21 in a few weeks. And that's gonna cost me a fucking arm and a leg, but you're only 21 once. Yeah. You know what it is, right? Like where I'm like just chilled now, but you forget how wide the camera is, like on your tablet, and you think you're only showing your face, and then when you watch a bit back, man, you've got massive fucking belly. Yeah, I'm getting some of them, mate. I'm getting you a pair as well. What were they called? Hot Tuner or something. So we went on holiday, right? Me and my son, we've been on holiday a few times. Where was it? We went Ibiza for my brother's wedding, which was quality. Uh, and then the last one, just me and him, we went with all the family on that one. But the last one, we went to Bulgaria. It was like a proper last minute job. Absolutely cheap as chips. I think it was 10 days, 10 nights, all inclusive. The last week in May, and we paid something like 300 quid each from Newcastle, which is like up the road. Just wouldn't happen again. You can't get holidays like that. And the week we got there, the hotel was quality, um, and the weather was just right. You know what I mean? It was just the opening for the season. But we got these. I went to went to Sports Direct, wasn't it? Sports Direct got these poolside, like, still got them somewhere. Poolside slip-on, like, they look like something Chris Boardman would wear, you know, when he's in the Olympics, you know, he's riding the bikes, you know, them. They look like them. And they were called Hot Tuna, I think it was. I think it was 2 pairs for a father. Mate, you know, when you just get one of them bargains where you think, mate, I'm using these every day on holiday, all day by the pool, on the beach. Comfy, you know what I mean? 2 for a fiver. Mate, I'll probably still be able to use them again on holiday. Honestly, man. What's happening anyway? Because I'm fucking waffling on, already. What's happening, Lammy? Lammy, who was in the thick of it? Were you in here on Saturday night? You know, when he had that fight on? Because it was all kicking off. I knew it was all kicking off because about 5 minutes after it finished, fucking Gav Baser was apologising, like leaving comments apologising and that. Another one last night. I think we all appreciate Jim Smith's sense of humour, but you know, he might have a few shit lives in between, yeah, you know, where he bangs on, he can't get a word in, but got to take it off to him. Even I was laughing last night. I think everyone had a proper giggle about when there was no doubting that he was going to milk that. He wasn't there while it was happening, the roast of tunes by T-Bag Tracy, but he enjoyed it just as much as us, like when he was watching it back, but just Jim talking over it and that was saying, he just had everyone in fucking stitches, man. It's fucking mad. Right, let's have a little look in the chat here. Mr. England, still on fire, Mr. England. Lammy, been a bit quiet the last few days, Lammy. You know, I don't know what the reason is. There'll probably be a good reason, but you get little phases off Lammy, you know, where he'll go live like quite a bit, and then we didn't see him for time. I thought they were coming back, like, but he's gone quiet again, eh? Or am I just missing something? Yes, Dennis. Dennis, mate, I've just had the 3 like worst shifts ever, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Taking me back. It's weird, right? Because it was being that bad, right? Like being that shit a day. Dennis, I was like driving home. Don't ask me why, right? Because just purely the mood I was in, right? I was thinking about people who we used to work with, like when I first started there, right? And 3 of them are dead. 3 of them are dead, man. See, and that just put me in even more of a downer. Right. Let's get this sorted once and for all, right? You heard it first here, right? The weather has been shit. The clocks have gone forward, right? So it's getting darker a bit later. So it's going to be, at least if it's the next week or 2, it's definitely one of the cards, right? But just waiting for the right moment, yeah. But the longer I leave it, the later it's going to be on the night, you know, because it's getting lighter for longer in it. So um, So it will be like an 9:30 one, because it's better when it's pitch black. Because that other one I did, that was in winter. That one, that was in. It was about that was done at tea time, and it was sort of pitch black on it, so it must have been getting on for the winter. So this will be like in the summer, so. But yes, Jimbo, didn't you get a? You were one of the reasons I started this early, mate. You were in. You and Phil, like went in StreamYard. Apparently, StreamYard's had a problem, and I heard about it. I was listening to someone on the way home, Jim. I was listening to Jim actually. Oh yeah, before I forget, Zeus. If you hang about, Zeus will be about in the chat very shortly, and I reckon, because I know the mood he's in, yeah, because he's done a live at 5 o'clock every night this week from his car, and I've heard nearly all of them, and he's been enjoying them. You know what I mean? You can tell. But I know tonight he's gone out with the people who he's been working with. He was in like a jovial mood, so, and he said he's gonna. He said he was getting in about 10, which probably be about 11. Maybe later anyway. But he said it's going to come on anyway. Now I reckon it might be half cut. So we might see if we can get 500 quid out of him. You know what I mean? So if he's really pissed, and like on my say, right, on my I'll give you the heads up, and we'll try and get 500 quid out of him. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Jimbo, mate, I put it back because I'm not going to lie. On my way home, I had to make 2 stop-offs on the way home. One of them, though, the last one, bearing in mind I've been out since 5:30 this morning, yeah. Go for a crap. Fuck's sake. Uh, do you recognise that car park, like Randy? He parks it. He's been away though, Randy. He goes all over the country. He does about 10,000 miles a week. Yeah, he doesn't sleep. He's like super granddad. You know what I mean? He doesn't sleep, but he's always like jovial. If it was anyone else but Jim, you'd definitely be saying he's getting some help from somewhere. You know what I mean? But he isn't, man. He just fucking. It's just Jim in it. But I reckon he's let his. I know he's off tomorrow, and just a little inkling that I've got that he's going to be mortal drunk tonight. Yes, OG. See, OG, Randy's been coming in here for time now, you know. Did you know he was like a fucking quiz? Did you know he was a quiz genius? I've been doing these quizzes like for a while, and we had a few superstars, you know what I mean, who were running the show. Like Sean Wayne was one of them early doors. And the other one was my mate, right, from work, Bazza. Yeah, it was like, it was just pissing everyone off with it all the time. But then Randy, Top Shagger Randy, yeah, just turned up one day in me chat, joined in the quiz, and just wiped them all out to the point where he left. He had to go, and that was the only reason why. Who won? Who was it? Who won? It was Randy. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Randy fucked off, uh, and then everyone got the interest back. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, "Oh, he fucked off. Might have a chance." Oh, it was PP, believe it or not. Fuck's sake. Fucking funny. Owlhead's a classic example of like how you can how we can mix, how we can mingle, you know what I mean? Yes, and like, you know, Howler's like, because Genghis started floating in here, didn't he, Howler? Did you see him the other week? Genghis Khan, yeah. Genghis used to come in here like all the time, right from the start. And anyway, then he got a bit of thing, didn't he? Didn't he? He had his beat for sure. And didn't he end up jumping on Expos? And he went on Expos for quite a bit, didn't he? Sure, that was Genghis, wasn't it? Oh, I bet it wasn't. Oh, some good footy on in there. What about what are we getting beat 2-1 there? It's another reason why I started early. You know what I mean? We're winning 1-0 after 3 minutes. I know. That'll always be a little talking point, that one. So proper at this time, Jimbo was always first in every live I was doing for time. It was Jimbo was like always one of the first in the chat. So like obviously, you know, you recognise things like that, you know what I mean? And you watch his comments and you watch him on other people's channels and so anyway, when it come to the quiz, there was a few, what do you call them? There was a few. I had to make a few decisions, didn't I? You know, regarding spelling and stuff like that. You know, with spellings and stuff, you know, I do a little bit of lead. I proper was 50-50 on two vital points, and you could have cut the atmosphere with a knife, right? To like the decision, you know, and both times, right? I'm not gonna lie, both times Jimbo like didn't get the decision, you know what I mean? He wasn't happy about it. Yeah, still got to be in his bonnet about it. Yes, DJ Palsy in the house. Respect. You know what, Paul? You're not wrong there, mate. The only reason I am, Paul, is because even though I like your music, I'm not a big as fan as Louise. She's like quite passionate about it. You know what I mean? I liked it, but plus I just there's that many channels, Paul. Mate, you know what I mean? But yeah, she definitely does, man. And that's what you need, don't you? And yeah, man, you don't forget. There's another fella who you don't see him very often now, but he is still floating about. Our mate Aldi, yeah, you know the bloke who talks to fish. Aldi, Big Al, talks to fish and that, doesn't he? And like goes to work in wellies and that. And he stinks of fish. That's how works at some little park. You know what I mean? Some little crappy thing, crappy zoo and that. You know, crappy sea lions and that. But yeah, man, he's always he does his little bit. That's it, mate. If you missed the start, Howler, um, definitely going, definitely leaving that outside it. Well, it's in the boot of my car because it stinks. You know what, mate? I set myself a little target. Yeah? Set myself a little target, and that was in the next couple of weeks to get a few people who haven't been on the panel like for ages, right? One of them's Aldi. Can anyone remember? Because it's going back a while now. When he did jump on a few channels. Because Aldi's one of these where he can drop in anyone's channel. You know what I mean? He can drop anywhere, like, and he will, and he'll just be Aldi, you know. But can anyone remember when he came on the panel and that? Shown as Merlin and what's the other one? Oh, I should know the other one, man. Yeah, so anyway, Marvin in it. Yeah, so can you remember he used to jump on and then he hasn't been on panel for ages. He used to go Daryl's as well. There's a few people floating about. I know they're all in knuckle noses. Must be talking about some shite. I can't listen to him, like, fucking double barrel nostril, double barrel nose. Phil, I can see now why. Yeah, the Podref channel did well. Like with, I think everyone who was in here now was in there, just taking the piss constantly. Is that Leeds United? Oh yeah, how are Leeds doing anyway? Yeah, but a season's just gone flat. Even though we're on a good run, yeah. Even though we're on a good run up until tonight, and I haven't looked. We were getting beat 2-1 at home, but it's nothing to play for, man. Yeah, but he wasn't drinking, was he? He hasn't been drinking, and I was just thinking to myself, right, like, not that I think about Tunesy all day or anything, but when you hear him say, "I haven't had a drink for like a few days," because he's skint, he's absolutely skint, and he's basically saying that he couldn't do a live because he didn't have no drink, so he couldn't do a live if he wasn't pissed. That's fucking bad. That is really. That just sounds so bad. Yeah, but he got a proper roasted off Teabag Tracy. I mean, think what you want to Teabag Tracy. Like, she's annoying at times. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are, but because it was tuned, it was bearable. You know what I mean? And she was absolutely lapping it up when she was reading the chat and everything. You could tell, but she was saying exactly the things you wanted her to say at that time. She was pulling them out the bag. It was fucking mad. And then to hear it again last night. Well, one thing I had to laugh at as well, Jim doesn't, uh, Jim doesn't highlight many comments, does he? You know what I mean? You might get one or two like a night in like a 10-hour live. You'll only highlight two comments, yeah. So you're wasting your time trying to be funny, you know what I mean? Yes, brother. Pick up the Terminator as well, Paul. What's going on with Torbs? Yeah, he's on everything, Paul. Torbs is running YouTube at the minute, mate. He is on everything. He even rocked up on Jim Smith's, didn't he, last night? He was rocked up on the panel. Oi, oi, what's happening here? And then he's straight on the panel. Well, it's happening here, like. Good. There's a little conflict of interest, though, right? But it's quite interesting, isn't it, Sean? Now, like Bobcat, like Tobbs won't have a bad word said about Bob, but he said that Bobcat's been about right for a couple of years. No lie, right? I asked Tobbs. I said because I thought he just sort of like started jumping on Tobbs's channel, and because of the dogs, the puppies, he'd yeah. See, I thought that's all it was, though, Paul. But the more I've heard about it, the more I've spoke to Tobbs and that, it turns out that he's saying that Bob's been on here for a few years. And I told him with in borough terms, like what Bobcat done in that. Not I was saying it in a YouTube sense, not like he does it out of he's a flashy, you know what I mean, out like that. But I told Tobbs that he still got out of putting him down. What it is with Bob, he's got a character, hasn't he? And it was okay. It was okay for a while. There's not many characters like that who last for long. You know what I mean? And he's dragging it out now. Dragging it out. It's funny with the Inspector Gadget thing, but that's gone now. He's gone out to find something else. That's had its day, that way. Yeah, have you seen the Avatar? Have you seen the Avatar she's got? Like, she's got an Avatar's when she was about 25, isn't it? I don't know. She gets. I think I was going to say after all the lies that she told and that, but sometimes you can just be a bit too honest, can't you? Tracy, you don't have to tell us that you were bleached. So that was it. What Jim highlighted the comment. Apparently, Tracy gets her ass bleached once a fortnight or something, and left it up all night on the screen for about 8 hours. You know what I mean? Even people in the chat were saying like, ah, "Jim, can you take that comment down? Because I'm having my tea or I'm eating or something." And I've just had a little chuckle. Is that based on anything like Phil? I understand it, and like you would imagine if nobody had ever seen Tracy, that's what you would imagine, right? But apparently there's truth in it, though, isn't there? There's truth in it. Oh, Randy, have you not heard that? Not heard how Tracy went on a roll? Oh, you know, can't work Tracy out like she's not work. She's not. I wouldn't even try working her out. Just Tracy, and it's not beat about the bush. She is like everyone knows Teabag Tracy, and it turns out that she didn't know what teabagging was. She didn't know what teabagging was. Our Tracy didn't know what teabagging was until someone told her the other week. So when she was calling herself Teabag Tracy, she just, I don't know, must have been because she thought that she drank a lot of tea, but it wasn't what. It was only her that thought of that. Everyone else thought of the other teabagging. And you know, I know that's it, Paul. That's what makes it funny, mate. When Tobbs just rocks up and just like rocks up in the middle of it could be anything, man. Tunes. He's only just started going tunes. It's just so funny. But he has been doing loads of the late ones as well. And now, mate Nutter, he's got Saturday night boxed off. He's got it proper boxed off. He's yeah, he's doing lives in here on the Saturday, and I'm like doing panels and whatever. But he's been getting loads of people in. So that's why he only had a few in on the Saturdays, I think, because they're all over those. Now to do with the fact that I just talk a load of shit. Fucking chill. Wait till I see Swanee. Wait till I see Swan and only. So I've got Tuesday's chat on my phone, and I'm just having a little glance. Just to see all the little Judases in there. They'll all be coming over here saying, all right, fine. Oh, I didn't know you were on. Nah, I haven't been doing now. Nah, just a quiet one. I'm quite surprised at the monk giving Tuesday the time that he does as well. Yeah, he's a bit of an enigma, old monk, like absolutely mad as a box of frogs. Is it? What do you mean, Paul? Can you elaborate a little bit? Because I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Like, well, exactly, mate. 100%. There's a few candidates. There's a few candidates. Need to take a really good look at themselves. Like YouTube idiots. How does he get away with it? He's got. He's got his favourite channels. He speaks highly of a few channels, but all the rest of them, he just doesn't give a fuck. Like, because he just straight in tunes his chat after absolutely like he was him and Mr. England were the instigators. They were just winding Tracy up when she was on the roast. Them two were just like fucking loving it, man. And the straight in tunes his chat. Well, Mr. England isn't on the list, unless he's got another account. Like, where's Jimbo anyway? He's definitely getting mortal, Jimbo. I'm gonna skin him tonight. I know, but you got away with it for a while, though, Phil. I mean, Phil, you will hear a lot of people refer to Chumsy as Empty Head, and that was Phil. Phil gave him that nickname, and it couldn't be more. It's just very fitting, isn't it? You know what I mean? Empty Head just says it all. Jimbo's got no love. Like Jimbo's got no love for the Chumsy there. Like he hasn't for a while. But I think, did you give him a chance though, Jimbo, at one point? Do you? Because Phil's never really liked him, but there's quite a few give him a pass for a while, didn't they? You know what I thought, right? Because like you just refused if Tunesy was it rattling right from like not having YouTube for a week, right? Say he hadn't had a thing for a week, and then the only live that he was on when he came on for his fix was me. I just still don't think he'd write in the chat just because he's that stubborn. I thought I was stubborn, right? He's that stubborn that he won't come in this chat. But if he ever says, I haven't been in your chat for about a year, well, he has been, right, on my birthday. I did a live on my birthday, right? I was half cut. It was the night when I had a denim jacket on because PP was on. And I totally forgot. But I watched a bit of it back this week, and Jonesy was on, man. And he didn't even talk to me, he just argued him up. I don't even think he acknowledged that. And he probably won't. I was saying, nah, I'm being on yours, I wouldn't go on your channel. But he did. I had to put up with him last year for about 2 hours, an hour and a half. Imagine a one-on-one chat, an hour and a half with Jonesy. Say, are we doing Rachel? I'm still not sure. I'm still not 100%. The Rachel is dating Leo, or Rachel is Leo, or Rachel wants a bit of Leo. You know, the stud muffin. For a while, Leo was always in here for a while. Like, yeah, Leo was always in the chat. I haven't seen him, but Yo says all right in other channels. That's what I really wanted him for. Because you know what? We had a little bit of back and forth. It was absolutely now right. About a couple of months ago, and he was calling us boring and that. You know what I mean? He was calling us boring. This is the man who can't do a live unless he's got 8 cans of Stella, right? And he can't even do a live then as himself because he's got absolutely nothing to say when he's himself. So he created another character, and he's quite comfortable with that character. But it's fake, isn't it? It's a character. Oh, God, that's how boring he is, man. That he can't be himself. He has to pretend to be somebody else because his real self is boring. Yeah, I've got the sound off as well. I notice, I see there's 180 people in, which is quite, let's be honest, he's going to be buzzing off that, isn't he? Seen somebody, you let somebody on earlier on, City Clips. City Clips. First time I've seen him on a panel, like, and turns out he knows Tunesy, doesn't he? He's from like Tunesy's ends. And Tunesy was getting like a semi on and that because he went to the same chicken shop. But you know what? You know what we need to do? We need to like I need to get onto a topic and talk about it. Don't keep like procrastinating. Gotta like stick because there's loads that I want to talk about. Just to, I'll just throw this in the hat. Quavers and Flavors, Lindsay and Flavors. You know, I know there's a few people in here who go in Flavors chat, and there's a few people who don't. I like Flavors. I like Quaver. Something's happened there. I don't know. I sort of know a little bit, but I don't know. I've seen him mention him today. I know they fell out, or I'm not sure why, but they have fell out before, like before. But yeah, that's all I want to say on that one. But what was the other one? It was nothing to do with YouTube, I don't think. I was expecting Jim to be on by now. You know what I mean? So I'd have some help because Not gonna lie, I only had about half. I think I had half of that joint, and I was goosed. Sort of all right now, but I've had a pint of Newcastle Brown, and I've got half a bottle of JD. Does that look bad? It looks like I had a cornflake on my chin. I'm gonna have to have a shave tomorrow though, but let's see. Look like I had a cornflake on my chin. But that my own fault. Yeah, can't beat the old dog, can you? Bottle of dog. The lasses in Borough. You know you're with a classy lass, or you know there's a classy lass when she's got a straw with a bottle of Newcastle Brown. You see that in the bongo. I heard Nutter this morning talking about some of the old, when he used to go to a few of the old nightclubs and he used to go with his black cap. He used to go with his black cap onto the Madison, this big, one of the the top cheesiest nightclub in the borough. Um, and Nutter used to go with a few of his mates and that, and he was all about, he used to get turfed out. But he used to go with his black cap on. Man. There's another fellow I want to get on, Chris M. There's a good chance Chris M is floating about, right? Anyone who sees Chris M, if you see him, he's another one like I want to talk to because he's a Borough lad. There's another lad who I think's from Borough that goes in Jim Smith's. Somebody tears it. It's quite funny, Phil. You'll have seen him. He's quite witty. He's from the Borough as well. Paul might know him. Oh, Paul used to go to the Madhouse. You know, mate, you know what? I was lucky enough, Paul. I was lucky enough to be 18 when the Havana was open. You know, the Havana, the infamous nightclub frequented by Lee Duffy and, loads. It was like, looking back now, I don't know how we didn't get stabbed or whatever in there because the shit that used to happen in that club. It's only open 3 nights a week. It was a proper. It was when the dance scene just started, man, the rave scene. I don't know if King remembers it. Do you remember the Havana, King? Because you were about the same age. Super easy. There's Ice there. No, he looks that good in green. He's buzzing. He's buzzing. He's got another month there. And I know Nostog was buzzing when he found out it was him who was one of his freebies that he got. He's still here though, King. He's still here, right? He reckons it's up to bullshit like warp 8 out of 10. He comes straight in at a 5 early on, like. But I'm talking, you know what I mean? We're talking two heavy talkers here, people, right? There's Phil Graham who, given the chance, he's smoking weed, man. He loves his weed, right? And he's another one. So you've got to remember, man, I'm a lightweight. But I do like. I don't even know why I asked Phil, like, I think that he would like actually tell me the truth if I was talking too much shit. I'm probably better off with someone like Jimbo. Fucking hell. That's worth the 199. Like, Paul, I've seen Paul offering loads of people out. He doesn't get on with Monk, does he, for some reason? I just see him like, because I've met Paul. Paul was at Nutters. Paul was at Nutters bonfire. He's fucking Raj, man. He's a proper Raj. He's in the Nutter Torbs Rajiness. You know what I mean? They're like, they just don't. They're not bothered. You know what I mean? Like, you just see what Nutters like. Yeah, the fucking Rajis, man. There's no point in explaining to. There's no point, mate. Honestly, just goes in one ear and out the other with him, doesn't it? Or goes in one ear and out of one like hand with a crayon. But you do get because he does quite a few generic ice chain. If you look on his channel, like if you do sub to the fella, yeah, and you look on his channel, he's got a lot of generic polls. You know what I mean? And he'll know that, or I'll tell you, Ice, that you know it's me who's clicking on Rob Schneider every time you put a poll up, don't you? You know it. I'm usually the first one, and the first one of three people who actually participate in his poll. I don't read the other options either. I don't even read the question half the time. I just go straight to the bottom because I know it's going to say Rob Schneider. I reckon you're a little bit scared of him, like, to be fair. Might doorstep you, man, like Peter Pope. Peter Pope, has anyone heard Peter Pope? Phil, Northern King, Jimbo, are you Randy? Paul, I'm pretty sure you know of him. What's your thoughts on Peter Pope? I think he's a brummie. Oh, mate, he's on a par with that Joker. Joker. Yeah, unisex. Them, but these bad boys are unisex. I don't know whether he's meant that or I think he has. No, he's a twat. Well, apparently he proper doorstep Torbs, right? And yeah, Torbs is telling the full. They end up on a panel together. So I think this happened about a year ago, but they end up on a panel together, and it's resulted in 8:30 in the morning. Peter Pope driving 200 odd miles up to Torbs' house and just doorstepping Torbs. And if you believe who you believe who you want, because both sides are funny. But Peter Pope said that Torbs shit it and ran back inside. And Torbs said, "No, I said I'm going to put my trainers on," because he was in his dressing gown or something. Uh, so I was just howling at both of them, both the answers. But yeah, nothing happened. So he drove all that way for absolutely nothing, Paul. It's a bit stupid that, like. But yeah, I've heard him on a few pounds, mate. He's just got an anger problem, like. There was a good chance, Paul, Torbs, that if he'd have turned up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon, Torbs would have had his dressing gown on, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh, he's Govinda. Where's Govinda on the list, Phil? Where was Govinda on the Judas list? I didn't see him in there, but I wanted to talk to Gav. Um, not saying you don't have to come on the panel, but I will just warn you that once Jim gets here, you'll all be fighting to get on the panel with Jim. You know what I mean? Because the later it gets, the more drunk I think Jim's going to be. And we have set up a little challenge to see if I can get 500 quid out of him. You know, like, might take a little bit of work, but we'll do it slyly. Yeah, Gav. So what happened on Saturday night, man? Seriously, for you to apologise, I honestly wasn't reading the chat. I was watching the fight. I was watching the boxing. I had a massive headache. I had half a cracked rib, and I was absolutely knackered. I said I couldn't, so I wasn't reading the chat, but I knew it was kicking off. And I know Emma was in. I don't even know if Andon was in. He might have been. I heard his name getting mentioned. But as we all know, like, what about Doorstep and Gabby and Anton have had a bit of beef like for a while now. A few times Gav's woke up shadow boxing and that, or shadow boxing in his Y fronts, thinking it Anton was in his bedroom, you know what I mean? I reckon Gav's definitely been Googling like body bags and that, where you can get a body bag from. Painful. Honestly, right, I'm not gonna lie, I have done it before, right, but I was stretching at work and he had the left hand side, right, about just at the side of my heart, right, on about second or third from bottom rib, yeah. I was leaning on like a proper sharp bit of metal. And I knew that I couldn't reach this. This is what I needed to reach with me standing there, right? And I should have just stopped and walked the 10 yards around the other side of the machine, but I didn't. Fucking overstretched. And I heard it like, oh, the pain, mate, the pain. The pain just shot through us. And like, I couldn't breathe. And I remember when I did the same thing before, a couple of years ago, it took about 3 weeks for it to totally like go, where I couldn't feel it. And I'm into about a week's worth now. And all I've been doing at work is what is the worst thing for it, which is like bending down and twisting and lifting, moving 1-ton rolls, you know what I mean, that don't want to move, pushing them, and just everything you don't want to do if you've got a cracked rib. That's what I've been doing for 3 days, mate. Fuck's sake. You know, when you work and you have them weeks, when you work and you have them weeks where you think, I don't know how I'm going to get through these 3 shifts. That's what it was like this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And even up until I finished at 7 o'clock, right? And you'd think, we used to call it happy hour on your third 12-hour day shift. It's the best shift, you know, is when you finish at 7 on, say I finished now 7 on a Wednesday night. Don't go back till Sunday night at 7 o'clock. So you get like 4 full days off, basically. Well, sort of. We used to call it happy hour, you know, 6 till 7 on your last day. Mate, it wasn't happy hour today. ready to kill someone again for that last hour of work. I was ready to kill someone. Out my side was knacking. I think I said before, I've got this stepper thing on my phone, yeah. I think we all have it. I don't set it or anything. I have my phone in my pocket all day. Yes, Cara K, big up Cara K. Mad old Cara, like she. Yes, I've got this stepper thing on my phone, and it's always beeping away in my pocket. When I look, tells you how many steps you've done. Bearing in mind the factory isn't that big where I work here, and I've been averaging like 20,000 fucking steps. 20,000 steps, right, in 12 hours, which I thought I'll just have a look, see what that equates to, you know, in like, it turns out in miles, it turns out it's 12 miles. 20,000 steps is about 12 miles. That's what I'm doing a day. Fucking 12 mile in fucking worky boots. Yes, brother. What's been happening? We've already had a little talk about you, bro. It was all good, man. It was all good. Oh, I was dying, you know, last night. It was one of them last night. I was knackered. YouTube idiots came into gyms a bit later. So you'd missed all the fun at the start. YTI, you missed all the fun for the first hour in gyms. It was just Jim playing that roast of tunes by T-Bag Tracy and putting Jim's spin on it. Oh, mate, you missed it. I'm sure you've watched it back, right? But it's even by Jimbo's standards, it was fucking hilarious. All it was just like, what the fuck? Look at his avatar, Leo's avatar. We've already done the avatar thing. If you're going to do the avatar thing as well, there's another that explains what you're dealing with. I'm glad he's in anyway, because about time he done some modern work. You know, Jimbo the Bull. Jimbo being flexing that spanner, like, I know. I had to give him that, you know. I had to, first of all, because of that quiz thing being on my mind. There was something else. Something else. Well, talking of something else.
Yo!
How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm fine, you?
Thanks, mate, for supporting the channel.
I've got earbuds in. Can you hear me okay? Is it working?
Yeah, man. Could everyone else hear?
How's the chat? Is it coming through loud and clear?
You've had a good night, haven't you?
I've had 3 pints, mate. Three pints of cider. I've been Bella Italia. What an experience that is.
What's that? Is that a franchise, man? Is that a franchise, or is it just a one-off?
I had personally, what I had was spaghetti with meatballs for my main. Have you ever had a tin of Heinz spaghetti with meatballs in it?
Not with meatballs. No, I like the spaghetti bolognese out the tin Heinz.
Yeah.
No, I don't like the sausages. No,
well, that's
no,
better.
Not
well, the tin Heinz stuff's better, but about £22 cheaper.
Wow. Really? So it was bad?
Yeah, it's a franchise. Look, it didn't matter. There was a few of us, so we just took the guys for a beer before we fucking worked hard this week, mate. So like a little bit of just a couple of beers.
Where have you been exactly? Bristol.
Yeah, I've been here.
I've been watching your lives, your last 3. I've been there, mate, on my break at work.
Best lives ever, aren't they? Yeah, they're the best I've ever done, mate. The numbers are brilliant. To realise tonight, I got 7 likes. 7 likes, mate. I can't, no, fucking hell, man.
You've got a few new fans there, mate. I've been watching you. I've got a few new fans. One of them being Janie. I've seen Janie's took a shine here. Janie Happy, isn't it?
I haven't got a clue, mate.
Oh, she's been in there, mate. She's been proper buzzing off you. Like, thinks you're hilarious and that.
Do you know what? For 59 years old, I can't argue with that, can I?
Not bad.
You've got
honestly.
any new subs are welcome. Do you know what it's about, mate? Just putting a smile on someone's fucking face. It's not about anything else. I'm not trying to be fucking cocky or arrogant or anything. It's just me, you know what I mean?
But it's not very often that you do them, though, Jim. So I see you do them 3 nights on the trot. It's a bit of like a...
I've just enjoyed it, mate. That's what.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've always struggled to deliver a live without a panel. I do struggle. I always need a crutch, you know what I mean? Someone there to give me a bit of support. But I've enjoyed the last week of just having a chat. But the thing is, I know it's wrong. I ignored the chat, and I think that's why I've lost some subs. And I'm not ignoring them. I just don't want to get drawn into anything, if you know what I mean. Because obviously you're going to get people in who are negative, and I don't give a shit about that. You know what I mean?
I heard you make a comment today, right, Jim? And I thought, I'm going to pull you up about that one, because you made a comment of something like, I don't want to take the drama on other people's channels, right? And you've got to keep your thoughts to yourself. But don't you tell me drama when you come on here, though? I'm being honest. Don't you feel like you can do it?
You're the only channel, but even I sometimes bring a bit of drama. Look, I don't mind saying what I say. Sometimes I regret what I say, and I've got no qualms of apologising the next day if I'm wrong. But sometimes I say things that I'm going to stick to, and I don't need to bring that to other people's channels. It's my opinion. And sometimes,
I like your opinion, though. You know, I like your opinion, and I like to get the bottom of your opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what people are like.
I usually agree with you. Most of the chat does, to be fair.
But it's YouTube, mate, and it's not my right to bring my drama or my controversial thoughts to anyone else's channel. I keep them to my fucking self, keep them to my own channel. And if people want to target me, they're targeting me, they're not targeting, you know, they don't associate, Zeus is associated with Fly Me Through. I'm not. We're friends on YouTube. We socialise on YouTube as if we're friends. We've got a good rapport. We just talk to each other. There's no animosity. No, we don't bring any drama. But I don't want to bring that to your channel because it's unfair on you.
That's something to celebrate because that doesn't happen much on YouTube. People like that. You know what I mean? People like that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I've tried to emphasise over the last few days that people take YouTube far too seriously. And I can understand the reasons why, and I've given the reasons why. Because to some people, this is their daily newspaper. This is their truth. If Zeus turns around and says such a person's wrong, and it must be true because Zeus said it. They don't want to go and do any research or look, and Zeus said it, so that's true. But unfortunately, we've got a small section in the community. Well, it's a very large section actually, who love that type of content. They'd love me to come on and say, "You're all fucking twats and cunts and this and that," because that's what people love. Some people, but there's a good. Your channel's different. Yeah, you've got you've got controversial people there who'll pop a good iron, but they come to your channel to listen to the content, not for the fucking drama.
Well, that's
you know what I mean?
No, Jim. There's all the people in my chat now know the real Zeus, right? They know what you're about. They know you just like about the laugh and all that. But I think other people, when they think of Zeus, they think of someone who's serious, you know, who's always pulling people up for the. But they don't like the people in this chat. No, you do a bit of both. but you're mainly like here for the laughs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope that's what people understand. I'm not here for controversy. I'm not fucking. It's not my business to
But
out people or do things. I couldn't. No, it makes no difference. Fucking hell. The only biggest campaign I done was against that shadow guy. And look at him
that
now. He's the
that was
biggest
your last
fucking
big
star.
one, wasn't it? That was your last big
Yeah,
one, Jim. You've had a
now
few,
he's not,
haven't you? To be
I've
fair,
had I've had a good few. But now he's the biggest fucking star on YouTube. You just sit there
it's
and think,
weird, isn't it?
he's weird, mate.
Fucking
But
weird, isn't it? Jim, how does somebody grow a beard that quick? There's got to be something weird about him. And have you seen his beard? He grows that in about a week. Is that weird?
I reckon, I reckon it's got something to do with being locked away in a room by yourself for so long, where your body changes. In effect, you become like an ape. No, any longer. He'd be full fucking hairy, wouldn't he? Know what I mean? He would actually become an ape.
So what's
No
Boss
way.
Dog's excuse then? Because Boss Dog's another one. He can grow a beard like on the live, a full beard by the
Yeah,
end of
but
one of his lives, right? Can you
Bush
believe
Dog
he's
will
only
grow.
36? Jim? Can you believe
I
that? You
thought,
believe in he's only
yeah, but Bush Dog just grows the beard, doesn't he? He doesn't grow hair. You don't see him walking around with fucking hairy arms and fucking a head like he's a gollywog. No disrespect to gollywogs, by the way. I've used that name. If it's an offensive to anyone, I apologise. I grew up with it on Jam Jazz. I'm not making myself any better, you know.
It
So
was
this will give you
Minstrel
an
one.
example. Do you know
Butchers in the eye. Big up the
Robinsons
butt.
used to have to collect the little tokens on the side, cut them out, and put them in a book like a co-op stamp book, and you sent them away, and you got sent a little toy. Nowadays, if you got that toy, you'd be fucking burnt, mate. You'd be burnt at the stake. Fucking madness.
Just the word. I feel bad even just repeating the word, to be fair.
I said that earlier on, mate. I tell you, do you know what? We're only going back 30 years ago when there was no YouTube, right? And comedians and what they'd say.
You
Now,
were on about Bernard Manning today, and Bernard
yeah,
Manning was one of the
yeah,
biggest races going. Money.
now listen to this. Listen to this. I got a reply on one of my posts. Not one of my posts, but one of my videos. I removed it. And it turned around and said to me, this is what someone said to me. I'm not going to say who it was. They turned around and says, you've got a fucking cheek calling Creepy Craig for doing a comedy sketch about the Liverpool girls, yet you're willing to go on and say Bernard Manning was funny. Right, in the 90s, the 80s, Bernard Manning and the way we were brought up and the social etiquette and what we knew in this country was Bernard Manning's humour and comedy, right?
Yeah.
We get to an age where we realise that that type of comedy is not socially accepted, and we accept that. As a 59-year-old, I accept it. I would not today, if Bernard Manning was doing the live down the road, go and watch him if he was still doing that kind of performance. What Creepy Craig done, he done that whilst we all grew up understanding that that type of behaviour is not acceptable. He still thinks it's acceptable. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Those type of people still think that that type of behaviour is acceptable. That comedy is acceptable. As a person who grew up in Great Britain and England, I've grew up now to understand that that type of behaviour, that type of comedy is not acceptable. At the time I watched it and I seen it and I went to watch him live, it was acceptable and it was classed as funny. That's the difference. What Creepy
So,
Craig does.
how long ago was it not acceptable? When did it become like unacceptable? Like 10 years, 20 years ago?
It become acceptable, not acceptable when on the institution of social media, when people, not as a small community, but as a huge community, understood that what these people are saying is, in an effect, it's offensive to communities, it's offensive to people, it's offensive to individuals who are part of our society, who are part of our community, who are now our community. They're not individuals, they're not separate, they are part of this country. Now, if you still think we should walk around with national fronts and say, get all this people out, that's not acceptable. And it should never be acceptable nowadays. Should never. Anyone with any values or morals. Yet we can still be a Great Britain. We can still defend and support our country. But you can do that whether you're black, white, green, pink, gay, lesbian, or whatever you are. Them days, the 80s and the early 90s, it wasn't. Those people were classed as different. They were classed as a different society. The 70s, late 70s, 80s, and 90s. They were something. You know what I mean? And that's nothing. We've accepted that. We've accepted that as a country. There's countries you can go to in this world, such as Saudi Arabia, Arabic countries, where women have got no rights, none at all. They don't give. They still treat blacks as third-class individuals. You know what I mean? So who's the development?
I watched a show last night, right, and it was a documentary about Brick Lane, you know, in London, when because it's Indian, isn't it, or Bangladeshi? They're Indian, and it was looking back to how bad Brick Lane and that was back in the 80s, where Indians were just, there was loads of stabbings, you know, in the place. It was all it was horrible. Racism.
Is it any better now? We've still got gangs. We've still got gangs of individuals. The difference is it's flipped. So where you had like the BNP or the British National Front or the NF Party, that's changed now. Now you've got groups of other individuals who are turning the tables. They're paying back. They think it's right to pay back the white people, the British people, you know, and that's no disrespect to these communities. If you can't live in this country as a developed country where, you know what, social integration and communities get on, it's a bit like, that's why I classed it today, or the last 3 days, I've said, it's the only true world is YouTube, because nobody knows who's who, what colour, what race, what nationality, whether whatever they are, because you can make it up what you are. So nobody cares on social media.
What about Jim? Does that include gingers? What about gingers?
No, gingers should always be picked on. There's certain, and they should. You shouldn't be gingered nowadays. We've got plenty of drugs.
There's no need for it, is there? You know, there's no need for it with hair dye and all that. You should. It's like you made a statement, aren't you?
Exactly. There's scissors. There's barbers. No, you don't have to walk around as if you know, look at me. And look, we do collections for gingers, don't we, on a regular basis?
Yeah.
You know, we put the PayPal links up to help them go and get a haircut, to dye their hair. It's ginger.
There's plenty of good hats out there that cover all of your head now.
Well, there's plenty of blonde people. There's plenty of blonde people about now who, look, if you're a full-blown ginger, what I would suggest is meet someone who's blonde, no, have a social interaction with them, and over the years, the children you produce will become more and more. Let's get it out there. Let's get shuffling on his printer tonight with his 1 ink cartridge, not a single document. Forget about tunes. Let's target a whole community. No, if shuffling's going to target a community, I can't think of anything better. You get more support. No, you can't just keep on picking on
extreme there. A little bit extreme from Phil there. Ginger.
This is why I don't come on panels, because this is what happens. I come on panels and people want to shoot me. Is that someone wrote that in your chat?
That was Phil
Someone
Graham,
like,
yeah. Hashtag Ginger should be
oh,
shot.
well, Phil, no, I think if Phil said it, I think he's right. No. And,
Mhm.
sometimes Phil's got the finger on the pulse, hasn't he? You know what I mean? If it needs to happen, it needs to happen. And this is
He's
why I
still
don't know
quite
what's
he's,
going on.
he's still quite respected, isn't he? Like our Phil, for being a joker and that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I
He
don't know
stood the
about.
test of
I've
time,
got,
and he
see, I've got this thing with Phil. I'm putting my car and my engine on. I'm not driving, by the way, folks. I'm just putting it on to charge my phone. Because people are like, oh, look at Zeus is driving his car. I'm not driving. I'll show you. Look, I'll put my camera on. I'm still in the same place I was fucking 6 hours ago.
Jim,
Where's my camera
what's this thing? Tell the chap what this thing is. Oh, it's gone. You pressed the wrong button. He's only had 3 pints. But he's had 3 pints of cider, right? So, don't know. I think he's wrapped the drink in. He doesn't sound that sozzled. So, don't know. I might have to go for just a few £100. Cindy, I was listening to a little bit of your karaoke today on my break, and I didn't go in the chat, but I was thinking, it's one channel where I should like make an effort to have a little listen to or pop in because basically I want to know where you got all your subs from. Definitely bought them, like. Plus, oh, he's back. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look,
what I was.
people
Yeah, man.
still in the fucking same place. I'm not driving. Okay?
So, Jim,
People,
tell us about the rest. Tell us about the rest of your night after your sausage and beans, sausage and spaghetti. What happened? How come how many people went out? How many was there?
There's only 4 of us. There's 3 other engineers, and they've worked really fucking hard. That's a call really some good favours in this week, mate.
What have you been doing
job.
then? Give us a quick lowdown. What you've been doing?
We've been installing a transformer into a major, and I mean a major warehouse, where if this transformer wouldn't have been put in, in effect the depot would have shut down for fucking the next 2 weeks. So we've done, in 3 days, we've done what any other team would have took 2 weeks to do.
What, were they all up for it, or were you having to G them? Like, were you having to or did you think these are all right? These three?
No, man. No, the engineers I work with, I don't need to G them up, mate. They get paid well. They're good at what they do, and they do what they fucking need to do.
Oh, were these people who work for you, Jim, or have you worked with them before?
I've worked with them before, but they don't work for me. But I brought them in as part of this work that needs to do. So in effect, I'll pay them, but they don't work for me. They're self-employed, fully skilled in what they do.
So what made you do? What was the driving force behind like the 3 days where it would have took anyone else 2 weeks? Were you even shocked and surprised by how quick you did it?
No, I knew we could deliver it in 3 days. I personally thought I could deliver it by myself in a day.
What?
It's not, because sometimes people will tell you what's wrong and the issue they've got. And it's not until you arrive on site and you see the issue that's there, you realise you're fucking joking. And then you've got
to. Have you had a hard hat on in that? Well, done.
Yeah, of course.
Have you?
Yeah.
Get in there. So you do the hard hat, the coat and all
that? At one stage, mate, I had a full suit on, which was fully leathered, for standing on a fucking mat to make sure that when we restored power, I didn't fucking blow myself up and kill myself.
Serious?
That's part of the PPE. You have to do it. No, you look like a fucking alien, but you've got to do it. You look like a spaceman. You're wearing PPE which weighs nearly fucking 2.5 stone. It's there for a reason. Yeah, you restoring power back to any fucking transformer, and once you flick that fucking switch, mate, there's a lot of people get involved. You have to bring in local energy companies. They have to do safe isolation from their side. You know, you're talking thousands of volts here, mate. You're not talking 240 volts through a fucking
Yeah,
house
man.
socket.
It's
You stick your hand,
so the
you stick your hand in a
risk
plug and you get an
assessment and
electric
all
shock.
that.
Oh yeah, and
Risk assessment.
that's part what I do. That's my job, to make sure to look at what's needed, understand what's needed, and write the risk assessment statements on how it's going to be tackled, who needs to do what at what times.
You know that thing you
And
did
then
last
obviously,
year, Jim, where you did a little course at home, didn't you, on your computer? Remember?
yeah,
Are
project
you using
management
any of
course.
that? Are you using any of that? Like what
Yeah,
you did that course?
you need that course. That course has to be. You need that certificate. If you haven't got the certificate, you're not allowed to undertake the work that we're taking. You have to renew it every. That one I took, you have to renew every 5 years. I was
Yeah.
a bit annoyed last week. Listening to a
I
panel last
remember
week.
when you were doing that. I remember when you were doing it, man, and you used to go live when you were doing it. And
Fucking tough, mate. A lot depends on those type of courses. They cost a shitload of money, and
yeah,
the margin of error, failure, is fucking huge. If you get, I think on that one it's 98%. If you get anything below 98%, that's it. You fail. It's not like let's replay it back. You failed. It's as simple as that. I was listening to a couple of lads on a panel the other week. It was on monks, and it was Monk, and he had another panelist on who were talking about the dangers of well, they weren't talking about the dangers. They were talking about asbestos, and I think it was Lammy.
respect, scoundrel. Keep the good work, mate.
And he was saying, "Oh, we just rip out the asbestos," and I think, "Fuck me, man. These people need educating. The dangers behind. Do you know it's still one of the biggest killers in this country? Asbestos. People who worked with asbestos 30 years ago.
I had it in my house.
Still dying,
I had
man.
it in my house. I had to get the ceiling down, and they had to pay specialists, coming in the white suits and all that. This was a house that had been on a big estate, right, semi-detached. That's only been built in the 60s, and every ceiling must have had asbestos in them.
I mean, when I was 19, I went to London to work on a job, and I can even tell you the building I worked in. Do you know Kodak, the camera company?
Oh, I've heard of it, yeah.
In London, they had this massive, huge building. It employed thousands of people, and my job was to fire protect the lift shafts. Do you know the lift shafts? Where the lift goes up and down.
Yeah.
And I had to go in these lift shafts, myself and this other guy, and we used to have backpacks on, and like Ghostbusters, and we used to spray the fire protection on the walls of the roof shaft. And we were there we'd done this for I'd done it for nearly 2 years. We didn't realise at the time we were spraying asbestos fibres. That's the best fire. At the time, that was the best fireproof protection on the market in building. It was cheap. It was easy to put on. Asbestos can withstand huge amounts of heat. And there's me and my mate with no face masks, no fucking nothing, working in a lift shaft, fucking harnessed up, travelling up and down, spraying all the walls, the ceilings. And when I got aware of asbestos, I worked on a few buildings, but the only building I can ever remember was working on that building. So part of my duty when I become more responsible and I understood about building regs was to contact Kodak and say, "Do you realise your building your main building, I forget the location, is in London somewhere, but all your lift shafts are covered, the whole walls are covered in asbestos fibres.
Mm.
Because the potential is it's still killing, or it was at the time for years, killing loads of people. Because as that lift was going up and down the shaft, it was creating, the spores were coming off. People were breathing that in for years and years. So, no,
Asbestosis.
oh, mate, it's one of the biggest killers
That's it,
still.
innit?
People don't realise the dangers in it. They go and remove, you move into your house and you go up into your loft and you see an asbestos water tank. And you think,
Yeah.
oh, I'll replace that. And you rip it out yourself. You start ripping it out and you're breathing in. Do you know the thing is about asbestos?
Yeah.
Do you know the fibres are quite, the smell and the taste are quite nice? That sounds stupid, doesn't it? So people don't mind working with it, or didn't mind, because it smells quite nice. It's quite pleasant taste. What you
The
forget
thing
is
is,
that's
though,
killing
Jim, let's not get it twisted, right? You're not going to die from if I took my own ceiling down, am I? I'm not going to
Yeah, but
die
I just,
from that. From these people
but I
were
just
inhaling it for years, weren't they? They were like in the process of making it as well, weren't they? Manufacturing it.
well,
And are we on
I'll
about
just,
people who were just putting ceilings up?
I'll just give you an example. I'd go to a location, and I'd be doing, when I first started in maintenance, I'd be ripping up a floor tiles. It could be in an office, it could be anywhere. People would continue to work because I put barriers around at the time, and that made us safe. All the floor tiles were asbestos. All them spores were spread about that office. All those hundreds of people in that office, they breath them in. It's a slow killer, and once it develops over years and years, it's a very, very painful killer. It causes serious damage, and it's a very painful death. I'm just saying it because I heard it on Monk's panel where him and Lammy were talking about it. And Monk says, oh, isn't that dangerous? And I thought, bloody hell, man. Lammy saying, yeah, but I think it is. Fucking hell, man. People need educating.
Jim, did you hear Daryl on the other day? I texted you, didn't I, and said I've got Daryl on here.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got it.
Text. I didn't say, I watched it on Monk. Monk Moon.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I did watch it. Yeah.
It was good. Good crack. Like,
it was good.
you were a big Daryl fan, weren't you?
Of course I was. Yeah, but I don't think it's meant to come back to my own opinion. Don't forget, a lot of people don't understand why people think Daryl went
up. From him being on here the other day, is that the idea you got, that he's not ready, or you're just on about in general? Like,
don't forget, people don't realise Daryl got attacked for his channel. I don't know how far an extent that went, but like, remember when
nothing to do with that, though, Jim. He's told me for years. He's told me for months. It's got nothing to do. He said it wasn't to do with that. I believe him, like, but I know what you mean.
You know Scouser, one of the calmest guys who comes on panels. He got a full contact through YouTube. It's very hard if you've got a channel which is popular, which brings in quite a lot of viewers, and you get these people fucking. You've got to be strong in the brain, mate. You've got to be strong in the head to be able to fucking withstand some of the shit that these people attack them with.
It's hard keeping out of the shit, Jim, and you know me, right? As you know, because you've been there with me, right from the early days, right? We've done loads of stuff together. We're still mates and that. So you know how hard it is to stay out of all the drama, innit?
You're large an opinion, mate. I think sometimes people close themselves up too much and say, well, that person doesn't bother me, so I won't bother them. Sometimes you've got to be honest and open with yourself and say, look, they haven't attacked me, but what they're doing is wrong. Yeah. You've got to give your opinion on it. You can't be sitting on a fucking fence all your life. It's either right or fucking wrong, in your opinion. And what's wrong if you're the channel owner?
Kind of worms on here, though, doesn't it?
you can go against someone on here, and the next thing you've got 200 or 300 people coming at you. I look at it this way: don't care about it. Don't let them worry you. They're the people you wouldn't want to associate with anyway. And if you've done a bit, YouTube's brilliant. It's a different world. It's the world where you can be who you want when you want. I'm 17 stone. I'm 6'3". I'm 59 years old, but I can handle myself.
Solid, innit? Solid.
But that's my YouTube character. In real life, I'm 4'8", right? I'm 9 stone, and I wouldn't fight anyone. I just don't fight at all, right?
Hey,
But
hey, you haven't showed
what's
your
right?
much for a while, have
We
you?
got
You
people.
used to show your much quite a bit, and then, but I think you had a bally on last time. Remember that one, that bally?
Yeah,
That was fucking hilarious.
started wearing balaclavas. I think it's the way forward, mate, is wear balaclavas.
Remember that one, Jim, where you had the whole of YouTube wound up for a week?
Yeah.
When you were going to tell them you were going to sort YouTube out. This is a classic example of, Zeus has got some shit. It's Zeus. Mate, remember that week was fucking hilarious, man.
But YouTube will believe they'll believe what they want. There's people who will believe every word that some people say on YouTube. Right? There's some people so heavily invested in YouTube and the drama that. Have you noticed the people who are heavily invested in people on YouTube don't want you to be heavily invested in them? As long as you're heavily invested, it's like this Takahagi shit. Who the fuck cares about him anymore? He's in court, he's got 6 months, he's good, he's where everyone wanted him to be in the first place. Yeah, he's in for driving offences, not all these
didn't he? He got remanded for a driving offence.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Do you know the reason why he's not? No, it isn't, man. And I'll tell you the reason why. He's not up on the heinous charges he should be up against. Because these people on YouTube want to speak to the victims. Give me your story. Tell me all about it so I can publish it on YouTube. The minute they publish it on YouTube, they've fucked up the case. Because they can now not go to court because it's been discussed on social fucking media, and you've got these idiots. So what in the end can that guy get done for? Driving offences. So what? Fucking big.
You know what, Jim? You know what? This is just another few chapters. Another few chapters for his book, innit?
For him it is, because he loves social media. He's a social media junkie. It doesn't matter whether the publicity's good or bad. It doesn't bother him, because he'll still get PayPal. So yeah, but I'm not being funny. I've looked at these people who are outing him. Now, apart from John Humble, who made it, as far as I'm aware, fuck all out of it. John was on a campaign. All these other people crept in, and every one of them are doing it, in my opinion, and I don't give a fuck what they say, they're doing it for one thing only: cash. And that proved me this week when they're all saying, we're not travelling to Dundee because it cost me £200. You've made thousands of them. Travel to Dundee, you cunt, and give all your followers who joins you what they deserve. They're all carpets. They're all fucking in it for cash. See, there we go again. I'm dragging your channel into it from my opinions.
That's
my opinion.
No, it's all right. This is what the people want.
I hate the guy. I hate the guy. I hate the guy. I can't stand the guy. And I don't want to know, but I make no money off him by saying I hate him. I done it with Shadowboxer. I brought it to everyone's attention what this cunt was doing. I made clear, precise videos. I showed clear, precise evidence. I put newspaper articles up and everything. And the people who were attacking Zakahegi attacked me, saying I'm one of Shadowboxer's biggest fans. I must be, because I keep putting videos up. It's funny the way they flipped it on me. So in the end, I took it off and thought, these are all nuts enablers. That's all they are. Every one of them are there to enable themselves to make a few quid. And that proves it to me this week, when none of them could follow up what they done last week. Or follow it up to conclusion. Or we'll put a community post up instead because we don't want to travel there. Or we'll do a live instead from our bedroom because we don't want to travel because it cost us 200 quid. 200 quid! Phone me up, I want to give you the 200 quid. The cowards. I would have given them 200 quid. Follow your story up. Take it to the conclusion.
In terms of
But the
drama,
real,
right, Jim?
yeah,
In terms of drama, right, and what's like got under your skin, where does Ship It Steve? What is it, Ship It Steve or Shadow Boxer? Who? Because they both were different, but they both got
I,
in.
I've got absolutely no qualm with Steve Farden. I think
Oh,
Steve
good.
Farden. I think he's gone through a phase where he attacked the community because he felt under pressure himself. He was in a shit situation. The guy lived on a mountain with no support. We all seen that. The guy fucking struggles. He was trying to
I'm
survive.
still following him now, Jim.
My,
I still
my,
watch a little bit of
my,
him, and he get it.
I don't win. My thing with Steve was he attacked people who were trying to help him. And a lot of people accepted and said, oh, we'll give him. I could never forgive him for what he done. But I've got nothing against him. Shadowbox is different. He's a convicted sexual offender. He got convicted for it. He gives everyone this false story that his conviction is going to be overturned. It never will be. The guy's a sexual offender who attacked a woman, got prosecuted for it, appealed for it. He got a reduced sentence. He didn't get a conviction squashed. But yet these people still follow him. And do you know why they follow him? Do you know what the excuse is? But he's funny. I tell you what, if that would have been your daughter, come back on and tell me it's funny. Come back. Is that your daughter?
That's how you kill an argument. That's how you kill Ice Queen and Dodgy Dave's argument. You just say, what if it was your nana? What if it was your mum who you robbed and they died? Somebody did it. What can they say? There's no comeback.
There's more behind. See, I've got nothing against. I will never attack a woman on YouTube. I don't give a fuck if the biggest troll, the biggest nuisance, the biggest pain. They keep banning people. I've got no. I've brought up. Fuck who the woman is. Women and children, forget it. I've said things about Dodgy Dave, which I still agree with. Dodgy Dave was a good friend of Decker Haggy. For months and months, he travelled around with Decker Haggy as either his bodyguard, introducing him to other YouTubers, making content. They fell out. I think Decker Haggy and Dodgy Dave have got a personal beef with each other. But Dave has used it as he's protecting the community. I don't see it that way. Other people might say Dave does a great service for YouTube. I think Dave's in it for personal reason. It's like if I don't like you and I personally keep attacking you, it's personal. It's me attacking you for no reason at all, except for my own personal reason, not letting the whole community know about it. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
I didn't follow
Don't tell me
at all. But I heard this week about
Decker Haggy's background. Don't tell me Dodgy Dave didn't know that Decker Haggy had been convicted for slapping a girl on the ass. Don't tell me that Dodgy Dave didn't know that Decker Haggy was travelling around the country with him doing wanking videos on trains. So am I fucking stupid? Am I not?
Well, they reckon that was a set up. He's saying he set it up where he had his daughter on Decker's knee or whatever, didn't he? He said, "Oh, I knew. Well, I did it on purpose." That's what he's going with.
That's his personal beef. That's not mine. So I don't give a fuck. The only person who attacked in the right way at the start, when I first come onto YouTube, Haggy, and brought it to light about the possible NFAs that he had and what he'd been NFA for, without everyone else getting involved, was John and Donna Humble. Then all of a sudden, other people started getting involved and realising they can build big channels and build big money out of it. That's the reason John Humble backed off Decker Haggy. Because he realised this is turning into a clown show.
Chip, let me ask you your opinion. Where does John Humble stand in, like, is he right at the top of all this crap? Is he still involved or is he not?
From what I know, I don't get involved with John Humble. Right? But from what I know, and I have spoken to them, not offline, never offline, always to, I've asked him and Donna at stages years and years ago, well, a couple of years ago. posed questions to him. Why would you want to do
Yeah.
this? Why would you want to get involved? What's the reason behind it? And he put it up in the. It was there. It was to bring it to the attention of other people. Look, I don't know what's gone on since then. Who is involved with now? I'm not a John Humble supporter. I couldn't give a fuck about the North East gang crisis. Who the fuck are the people he's arguing with? They won't affect me. Never will do. Couldn't give a shit. But what I seen was something that John Humble grew about Decca Haggy. Other people jumped on it and turned it. It's become a clown show. They're all sitting there patting themselves on the back today, saying he got convicted guilty. He goes to sentence in May. And they're all patting. He goes conviction in May for a fucking driving offence. Not
Who's
for
been
sexual
shouting
assault,
out? Jim?
not for what you said.
Which channel's been shouting all this out? Which channel's shouting all this out? Video Craig? Or
The normal video Craig, Dodgy Dave, Tony Baker, they're all jumping on it. They're all jumping on it. It brings subs, it brings views, it brings fucking cash. So that's about it. Look, this is my opinion. It might be wrong. It might be fucking totally wrong. I would need to sit and have a conversation with those guys personally for them to convince me otherwise. You know what I mean? And I'm very intelligent. I can sit down with any one of those guys and say, what's your fucking interest in this guy? You can't be so invested of putting 3 years of your life into bringing this guy down on the fact that someone on YouTube or someone here said something. Where's the evidence? Why did you put that evidence on YouTube rather than say to the person, go to the fucking police? Go and give them protection. So go to the police so Haggy can't. And it makes me question, is there anything? Yeah, I know Haggy's a wrong one. Don't get me wrong. I've seen his conversation with his mother. I heard what he said about the Cashman. When he thought the girl was Cashman's sister. The guy's a wrong one, in my opinion. But what these people say is, there's no evidence, in my opinion. They're all NFAs, NFA. No further action because there's no fucking evidence. It's the hearsay of, she said this. Shadowbox is different. He got prosecuted. There's evidence. Prosecuted. Guilty. Still stands.
going back to YouTube, going back to YouTube, Jim. I've spoke to you about Paddy Conroy, haven't I? Did you know that he's had his channel took down this week? It's gone because he got about 5 or 6 strikes, copyright strikes, and his channel's gone. He's had a meltdown this week, absolute meltdown. His channel's gone, and he's had to start again.
I'm not going to lie to you. I did watch Paddy Conroy. I loved Paddy Conroy. When I say loved, it's a bit of a fucking word, isn't it? From a YouTube perspective, I actually went into Paddy Conroy's once. I've commented once in his chat, and I said, it's about time a big channel put up what you did. He put up a thing about the Video Craig. Video Craig put out a post saying Decca Haggy had slept with his sister, and Decca Haggy's sister's baby is his. That's what Video Craig put out. I didn't put that out. Video Craig done it. Probably well removed. He put that on social media. Paddy Conroy come on and says, that is fucking disgraceful. He doesn't give a fuck about Haggy. He doesn't give a fuck about, he knows Haggy's a fucking wrong, but that is taking it to the limit. Video Craig removed the post in the comments. He actually done a video on it. Removed it. And I went into Conroy's chat and it says, it's about time a big channel which got big views has done something like this. Congratulations. Right? Don't watch Conroy's. Conroy's doesn't bother me. Too involved in Northeast gangsters that I know nothing about. No opinion on, and will never affect me in any way.
It's heavy though. It's heavy.
Don't get me wrong, mate. As soon as Conroy bought the non-son, that's it. Don't want to know. Why did he do that?
Strong. That's a bromance. Well, because Conroy falls out with everyone who we befriends, you know. You don't laugh long.
Look, Paddy Conroy gets 8,000-9,000 people alive. He bought the non-spoil and he went up to 1,500 on alive. Yeah. But that soon dropped to in fact, 600 or 700. Surely that tells him This is not what even your own subs want to watch. The chat on Conroy's clearly said it. People who support Paddy Conroy turn around and said, we don't want this guy on, we don't want this guy on, get him off, get him off. He didn't listen to his chat. That's going to bring in a lot of hatred. His channel's going to get targeted. And hence what you just said.
The thing is, he built that channel up, right, for 2 years, right, and he was making good money out of that channel. He had a load of members, and honestly, Jim, he has had a meltdown.
Learn by his mistakes, reset and start again, and stop stop letting convicted sexual offenders, convicted people who have been convicted on your fucking panel and giving them a platform. Fuck them off. Don't turn around and say, I've spoke to him and I believe him and I think he is going to get it overturned. Wait until the cunt gets it overturned and then we'll get him on. You've got a great story then, Paddy. But while that guy is a convicted sexual offender, he will always still and always will be.
Right, he's a one for you though, Jim. He's a one for you to think about, right? So he had his channel, right, took down within a couple of days, and it was copyright strikes, right? Which he said they're the worst things. Copyright strikes are the worst things, and he said it is a nightmare trying to get them overturned, trying to get in touch with YouTube because it's all generic, you know, AI. Like it's not somebody looking at Paddy's account; it's just a computer, and it just takes forever. And he got fed up after a few days. He said, "Fuck it. I've just started a new channel because everything he built up, it's all gone." But he got 2,000 subs in 3 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of them. He's got a goal on here. He's got a goal, you know, he's trying to put something out there. It is a bit crazy, but about some gangsters in Newcastle that he doesn't like. He's trying
Paddy Conroy's no different than me and you and every other YouTuber who's got a channel in his life. He's addicted to YouTube. Yeah, of course. YouTube is an addiction, mate. It's not. It's not a news. It's for people who don't want to sit in a pub all night. Don't want to go and it's an addiction. It's a fucking addiction. YouTube. It's like Jimmy Newman coming back to save the world because people need.
What did you think of him, Jim? What did you think of him when he first come out, like a few months ago, and like he was getting? I got a good vibe off him, you know his early lives where he had people, he had other fellas on, and
it's on him straight away.
A little bit.
No, nothing like Pablo. It's on him straight away. I'm coming on to jump on the Tekahagi train, and I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to associate myself with the great community of Video Craig, Scott Jack, all of these people. I'm going to make myself relevant in the Tekahagi situation. I'm going to say I'm a bare knuckle fighter, but I'm never going to fight. The guy jumps on the back.
Because he had nothing to do. He started off with Scotty G. It was him and Scotty G. And they had nothing to do with Video. Scotty G had a bit to do with Video Craig. And I know Jimmy Newman is he's a character, yeah, but
Jimmy Newman used to sit on his lives with Tekahagi masks on. That's what Jimmy Newman used to do. Yep.
What, at the
Jimmy Newman at the start used to sit on his lives with a Tekahagi mask on. Cardboard cutout Tekahagi. Fucking course he did. Now, then he ruins fucking Scotty. I don't know Scotty he is, but he ruins his channel, takes it off him. Then does an announcement. I'm coming back. What's the reason he come back? I'm coming back, people, to save people because I'm here for a reason. People need me. People need me on YouTube. No, Scotty G, you need YouTube. This is a guy who sat there and told everyone that he was got a foot fetish, and it all came out. I can understand why. The background story of him rubbing his mum's feet was very fucking. It was heartwarming. His mother was very ill. She was going through treatment. She asked him to rub it, and he's done that. But then he told everyone what he said to his mum about him having a foot fetish. He done that for content, mate. He's a fucking cloud chaser. He's not coming on here to help us fucking loonies, us crazies. He's coming on here to help himself. He's addicted to YouTube.
What? So has he got money?
So
Is he thinking about money? Because I know he was
he's got some
donating
local money.
and that.
About him in his mum's house. You know, man. Look, not that there's anything wrong with living in the bed in your mum's house. Don't make me for that. Of course he's here for money.
Jim,
As soon as he gets 1,000 subs, he'll be putting his PayPal link out. Don't worry, mate. We all know
So
what these
let's
type of people
talk.
are.
Jim, let's talk about Andrew Goyne, right? Because I know that you had a good night on Andrew Goyne's, didn't you, a couple of weeks ago?
I don't know very much about Andrew Goyne. I know I watch Andrew Goyne when I get an announcement and if it comes up. And I've known that the last 3 or 4 lives I've watched with Andrew Goyne, she's had absolutely great panels. And they don't talk about individuals, they talk about what's going on in Ireland, what's going on in the UK, immigration, other bits and pieces. And I found it very entertaining. It's something I can sit there and watch. She doesn't sit there and, I've never, I keep saying she, I don't know everyone, but Andrew Goyne does not sit there, in my opinion, from what I watch. She might do it through community posts and other posts. I don't give a shit. I'm just saying that they're watchable lives. They're entertaining. It's not the same old shit.
You know that Jim Smith's whole channel is off the back of Andrew Goyne, don't you? Terry Tackle. You know that. That's
Smith last night. I found the first 2 hours of Jim Smith last night. I decided to finish my own life, went back to the hotel, got a shower, went for a meal, went back to my room, put Jim Smith on. He was live. It was fairly early. It was brilliant. He was playing a live video from someone else's channel. I've never laughed so much in my fucking life. Jim's doing the commentary on it. I swear, I was in stitches. I went back to it a couple of hours later.
It's the way he delivers it, Jim. It's the way he delivers it with his Scottish accent. It makes all the difference when he's going in on someone. It's just the accent.
A few hours later, I tuned back into it. Couldn't listen to it. Couldn't listen to it. Couldn't understand the word he was saying. Totally fucking different.
Yeah, well, Boris is in the house.
When I'm fully aware that Jim Smith, I don't know whether he built his channel on Andrew Goyne. I know they hate each other, but that doesn't mean I can't watch. But that doesn't mean I can't watch Jim Smith and Andrew Goyne and turn around and say I was entertained by the two of them. That's what YouTube's about. I found the both of them.
You like Ronan, don't you? I think you've got a soft spot for Ronan, haven't you?
Yeah, I think he's just great content. I think he's fucking good.
Yeah.
I think he's wasted on YouTube. I think the guy would make a great. Yeah, I think he'd make a great investigation journalist or something like that. I think his channel should be massive. I think it should be huge. I think he'd make one of probably the best podcasters in my opinion, on YouTube. I just think he's totally underestimated.
What's he doing wrong? What's he doing wrong then?
Too controversial, isn't he? Says it as it is sometimes. People hate that. Yeah, not people on YouTube, but YouTube hate that. You know what I mean?
I've watched him. He's been in the middle of a lot of dramas on it. He was right in the middle of the Arctic Nick and Steve, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that was a podcast. That was a bit of journalism. Which look, let's be honest. It was a one-day news, wasn't it? You had Arctic Nick giving his story about being kidnapped by Steve Farthing. And you have Steve Farthing giving his story. There's no more to it. Everything else that came from that is in the minds of other people, where other people believe Arctic Nick was trying to set Steve up over other cases and children going missing. And Steve says Arctic Nick is hated by these people, including he robbed his own mother. And look, it went from Ronan put out a one-night fucking panel, and that's where it should have stayed. It's not
So
really
he wasn't
important.
invested. Ronan wasn't
No,
invested in that. Was
Ronan
just
wasn't
journalism
invested.
for you.
Ronan just made it as like his Sun newspaper article. I'll let the two of them come on,
Right.
have an argument, and I don't want any more time. And he's proved that because he can't be bothered getting involved in it no more.
And is that
To
what
him,
he
it's a
does? Is
non-story.
that what Ronan does then for you? Is that what you see him as, like somebody who can
I
just
think,
like jump
I
into
think he's very
anything?
good.
And
Yeah, I think he's very good at it. I loved his interview of Derek Haggy when he was the
yeah,
first person on YouTube
mhm,
to turn around and say to Derek Haggy, there's only one way you can sort this. You need to publish your acro. Because Derek Haggy kept going on, I've got an enhanced TBA. Now, it's great to have an enhanced TBA because so did Ian Huntley. Ian Huntley had a perfect enhanced TBA, which allowed him to work with children. What Ian Huntley didn't have was the same as what Derek Haggy's got, is a terrible acro, which has got non-convictions, but shows possible trends of uh, really bad behaviour and behaviour
yeah,
that's not acceptable to work in certain circumstances. That's what the
yeah,
acro. Roland Holden was the first person to say to Takagi, fuck your TBI. Anyone can get, I can go and get one. It doesn't show your non-convictions. Your non-convictions show trends. If you've been non-convicted of being a sexual predator 16 times, although you've been non-convicted, there's a possibility, very, very strong possibility, that there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? And that needs
yeah,
explaining.
yeah.
So that's what pisses me off when I hear people on YouTube saying, let me show you me teeth. Load of fucking bollocks. I've had people apply for positions with me who have turned up because they've had to with enhanced TBA checks. Right? I go
Yeah.
further than that. I have to. I have to go further than that. And I've done checks further than that, which I would not employ that person. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah.
Their enhanced TBA is perfect. It's lovely. Get your fucking acros out. But that shows your trends. That shows the bits where you've been non-convicted. Yeah, you've been non-convicted. You can explain that. You can explain it once. You may be able to explain it twice. You can't explain it 5, 6, 7, 8 fucking times. There's something wrong with you.
So, so the Acro's the kiddie then, isn't it? The Acro's the
The
one, isn't it?
acros, the acros, and the only person who brought that to YouTube in the very first beginning, because he researched it, he understood who he was up against, he understood what questions he was going to be asking, was Ronan Hall. You had all these other people attacking him, asking for evidence. Ronan Holden was the very first person to start it. So,
Well, I remember he did a ghost hunt or something, didn't he? Wasn't he at a haunted castle? You were loving that as well, weren't you? I thought that was good. Was that a joke then? Or
no, see, he done it. A lot of people don't realise Ronan had to stop doing the ghost hunt because strange things started happening in his personal and home life. Fuck me, people. No, you don't mess with spirits, mate. You don't sit around a Ouija board calling all the evil spirits to your premises in your house and accept it, thinking because you blew out a candle, they're all going to blow away. Fuck me, man.
Jim, I was in them chats, mate. I was in them chats, right? And I remember you were battering the chat, and you were taking the piss. He had a little doll on a stair, didn't he? And
I've seen the doll
moving.
The doll was moving.
The piss.
The doll moved. It wasn't a doll, it was a pig. It was a teddy bear.
You were ripping him all night in the chat. You can't tell me that you were being serious then.
I'm being told. He says, I believe in spiritual world. I believe that there is spirits in this world who haven't yet gone to heaven, you haven't gone to hell, haven't moved on, whatever. And I believe that there's too much evidence to prove that they are here. There's too many people who see them. There's too many people who see that thing and you think you're seeing something. Look, I've witnessed it myself firsthand. You, if you move into that realm, you've got to be serious. And I take my hat off to Ronan Holden for moving into it to make content, but realizing that it's bigger than just fucking about. It can have serious
I'm,
consequences.
I'm fucking amazed at that, like, because I remember, I wish I got that chat now, right, Jim, and read it back here, because I thought you
I
were
always say,
pissed because you were saying
no,
you were saying that there was things going on your phone and shit. You
I
had an app on
see.
your phone, didn't you?
I showed him and told him I ran my apps the same time as he's running his. There was words, there was sentences coming through on that. I told him where there was people, or not people, there was spirits that were looking, watching him, which he couldn't see, but on his live they were there. You could see them. He took the light on me. He removed it.
Are you telling
Honestly,
me then that you've seen them? Yeah, you're not winding me up.
no, I seen it. Told him. The location he was at is renowned for one of the most. It's a really bad area. It's got a lot of history behind it, but it's also got really seedy and uh, and controversial history behind it. Really, really bad area. You don't do your first ghost hunt there, put it that way.
Let's face it, though, Jim. Nobody in here would enjoy walking through a cemetery at 12 o'clock in the night, but they're on their own. It's one of
No,
them. It
I don't
doesn't
even.
matter.
Remember I done that live about a year and a half ago. 1 o'clock in the morning, walk through the cemetery by myself. Right? Honest to God, man.
Why?
Because I wanted to show people who were watching my live were scared. I wasn't scared. I expected to see what I saw, and I saw what I saw. I do it. I used to do it every now and again. It's funny, but because I believe in it, it won't hurt me. I totally believe in it. I understand the limits you can push. That no, you don't want to communicate with spirits who don't need to be communicated with. When you got people sitting there going, "Oh, you evil, you bad," throw a stone at me. They're going to throw more than a stone at you, mate. They're going to bring you. Anyway, let's move on.
There's a few people in the chat, Jim.
I
There's
love
a
them.
few people in. There's a few people in the chat who are giving me hassle, right, about when am I going to do the next golf ball hunt. I know for a fact that it was one of your favourites, wasn't it?
Brilliant. It should have been. You should have been. Your channel should have been struck, and you should have been banned straight away. In my opinion,
Yeah.
it's one of the most biggest atrocities that we've ever witnessed on YouTube. It was the worst 3 hours of everyone's life. We had to sit and watch it because it was so fucking weird.
I know for a fact you were the instigator. You were the
And once it
instigator
got,
in all that
you
crap.
know, there's you
You
slating
were.
people for golf. You were
You were
walking
Darren.
around the golf course, and once it got dark and your dog went missing, you were petrified. And you're on a golf course. I've never seen someone so petrified of a fucking.
Exactly.
And it was just,
Never
should have been
mind a
prosecuted for
cemetery, a golf course. Fucking hell.
it. It was good though. It was great. Walking around with it, you had a stick with a sheep's head on it, picking up fucking.
I know. I think I've still got that. I've still got it.
You had a special light which you went out and purchased, which didn't work. But yet you were telling
I've got a
everyone
better
for
one
15
now.
minutes.
Got a better one now. And I've still
Well,
got the cheap head.
a box of matches would have been better. You told us all about this light. That didn't work.
It does.
You get more like
I
that
mean,
fucking cigarette.
100,000 golf balls I've found and sold at least. You can't say it doesn't work. Come on, Jim.
You need to be
The
signed
proof's
up by Marty Marty. You
So,
need to be on
right,
his
Marty.
workforce.
He's been in touch with you, hasn't he, today? You got an
Yeah, I
email
was a
off
bit
him,
pissed off
didn't
that he put the video first. He wants Well, I'll be honest with everyone, I've announced it on my channel. He tried to recruit me to sit on YouTube, and every time someone does a bad comment about him, he doesn't want me to strike the channels. He wants me to put a case together to prosecute them. And in his own words, he can do this because he's rich.
Yeah.
So I announced today that I'd received an email off Karate Marty, what he wanted me to do. But what pissed me off was that he released the video straight away saying, I have now recruited a YouTuber who's going to be doing this for me. And I thought, hang on, we haven't talked terms and conditions. So I was pissed off with it. So that's why I done it on my live. I brought it to everyone's attention there. No, he did approach me through an email. It had the proper letterhead on. He talked about himself quite a lot. So I know it was him. I know it was genuine. He told me how rich he was. He told me how great I am. And I got onto that straight away. I know I'm great. I know I do the best lives. Obviously, I know I do the best chats. People talk about it for years. You say, fucking hell, Jim, in that chat was brilliant. But he tried to exploit that by putting the video out before he actually got me to sign the contract.
Terrible, that. Yeah, Bob Smith's still about, you know, Jim. Our Bob.
Staying out of Bob Smith's life, mate. Not getting involved with
Bob
Smith.
He's gone down the dark side, hasn't he? He's gone down the dark side.
He's gone, mate. You know, Apollo had doubts about Bob Smith. And I argued with Apollo. I said, look, I just think Bob Smith's a YouTuber, mate. I just think he's mad. He's crazy like the rest of us. And Apollo disagreed with me and put out a great big video about Bob Smith, saying how bad he was. And now I've come to realise that perhaps Apollo was right. But I'm not there. I don't want to watch him because I don't want to judge him.
Let's not get this twisted, right? Apollo, who was like a bit of a internet sensation, wasn't he? Like at the time, he would spend a good few hours in our lives. Like, would he mainly yours? You were his favourite, but he'd come in for 2 or 3 hours with me in the chat.
Apollo said to me, he's going to out me. He's got loads of information on me. He's going to put it out. And I said, go on. Go on. Put it out. And
so where did he go then? Where did he go?
Well, funny enough, the day after he said that about me, and I told him to put it out, he's never been on YouTube ever since. Now, I love YouTube, but I've got a life outside YouTube. Quite a life. It's a very interesting life I've got. And if Apollo thought he'd scare me, where's Apollo? He went missing the next day, not me. I travel around the country. People need to find out where they've been and where the possibility. People need to do lives tomorrow, and they need to. No one's asked that question. Where is Apollo? There's only ever been one person who's asked, and that was me.
What did you like about Apollo then, or what did you like? Did you like him? Like, did you think he was honest?
No. No, I jumped on the Apollo bandwagon. I thought he'd get me to 1,000 subs so I could get fucking monetized. Not gonna lie, so he was the next Zeka Heggie. Instead of supporting Zeka Heggie, I'll support the good guy. And he was the good guy, wasn't he? I'm not going to support the bad guy. I thought he'd get me to 1,000 subs, get a coffee link, PayPal. I'll be 7,000 subs. I'll have my own podcast. I can pack him working. Sit in the bedroom all day just doing lives.
You liked him. And you liked him, and he liked you. I think
he fell out with me because, and this is not my fault, when they done the Donna Humble reading of the Zeka Heggie 55-page that lasted 4.5 hours. I was a mod on his channel. There was 3 mods that night, and I didn't know how to. It was the very first time someone gave me a spanner, and I didn't. I ended up blocking fucking 220. And right, because they said like Apollo, you're a knob, and I thought, oh well, I'll ban him for that. Now I thought I was timing them out. I wasn't. And the next day he complained to me. I said, well, hang on, you didn't give me a spanner and a contract and terms and conditions. You've given me a spanner, and your words was, tonight, guys, it's going to be very busy. We're going to be doing this Donald Humble reading of the Aklo. We're going to have thousands of people in. Please, moderators, make sure there's not. I just went on a spree, mate. I banned myself at one stage. I fucking put a comment in the
spanner.
You don't
Even
give
though I
me a
have
spanner.
that,
It's like giving. It's like
it's not good.
me walking in a pub
Yeah,
and saying, help yourself, we'll be back in a couple of hours. Fuck me, man.
Well, Jim, you were the originator of the YouTube, what you call it, where you give everyone a spanner. Remember, you give everyone a spanner that night.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
No one
I
else
don't
has
know
done
why.
that. Nobody else
Not
has
a
done
single
that.
person. I was the very first person on this side of the community to put a live on where there was absolutely no one on the panel. I just played music and says, everyone's welcome in the chat. Say the fuck what you want. No mods. And
That's true. It's true.
Exposure TV finished the live. And from having 3 people in my live, I ended up having fucking about 80 people all arguing with each other. And I let it go. I fell asleep and woke up the next morning. And it was still done. And it was still on.
I was there. I was there for all of that one.
Because everybody who hated each other were just in having a full-scale argument about fuck all. But they went on for 6 hours.
It was
It was
original.
crazy.
Nobody had done that. Nobody had done that fact. Now,
Yeah.
it's still going on, the Spanner Wars, but you did that ages ago, man. That was done and dusted. Proved your
that
point
makes
what
sense.
Spanner's all about. You know what I mean?
Do you know why watch out for this shit that people are putting out, these so-called fucking on our side crazy big YouTubers who have phone-ins and panels, and I look at what they're doing and I've done it, mate. It's already been done. I done it to my 16 people in my life 2 years ago.
Let's not forget No Comment as well. Another original classic, No Comment, which I was there for the whole time.
I enjoyed No Comments. The biggest laugh I ever had on No Comments was jumping on Exposure TV. So he put me on his panel, and I think at the time he was Uncle K, fucking Monk, everyone else, PP. They're all on there, everyone. And in the corner, top right-hand corner, there's No Comment. With the words No Comment, saying, I was on mute. And Exposure TV turned around and went, why is No Comment? I'm just going to make a joint and a cup of tea. And he went, you know, No Comment, lad. You're okay there, lad. And he walks away. So he's walking towards the kettle. You hear the kettle getting, and he goes, no comment. No comments. You're not saying much. And then it clicked in his head. And then, you know the way he just that laugh? You just hear him at the panel or speech. You just hear him in the background laughing to himself. And he left me there for 15 minutes.
Big up Ted, lad. Ted Loon in the house. A big shout out with Ted Loon, another borough lad. No, Jim, do you think everyone in Podrefs clicked straight onto the not comment thing, didn't they? But it took other people a little while to get onto it, didn't it?
Look, even he didn't know how to fucking take it. Even he didn't know how to fucking take it. He gave me a spanner. He gave me a spanner and then complained that 179 people got banned. And obviously I said, no, you give it to the wrong No Comment.
Yeah, ruined his channel, didn't it, for a bit? He was wounded.
All he needed to do was go back into settings and let them all back in. But he made this big deal as if someone had come in and beat him up or something. It was, you know what I mean?
This is what I mean, Jim. This is happening now, right? This happened a couple of weeks ago and everyone was laughing, but this was done like a year ago, 2 years ago, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Been there, done it, mate.
It wasn't, but there's loads of people who haven't seen any of that side of YouTube. I'm talking, this was after Fighting Trolls sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it was done in
It was when
room and
Pablo
everything.
went.
It was funny, wasn't it? I thought it was funny. Fucking terrible sense of
Yeah,
humor.
we I think you were the first one to do karaoke, and Norris was there.
Yeah,
Norris even sang a song.
no one on our side of YouTube, no one has ever done. Remember, we're sitting there at fucking, well, not you, I don't know whether you pan, but we're sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning with 5 people on the panel doing karaoke. I've got
Yeah.
fucking Spotify up with the words up. Nowadays, people think, oh, we're going to, and they think it's innovative. We've done it, we've done all that.
What about Crazy Behaviour? Who could forget Crazy Behaviour? The song Crazy Behaviour.
Yeah.
Even Film Boy didn't even know that he was saying it until we picked up on that and turned that into. We turned it into him actually. He had it in his avatar, didn't he, on his screen, and we bigged all that up. That was all down to Crazy Behaviour.
Remember the night we reviewed 4 songs? Which song shall we have as the Crazy Behaviour song? And in the end, we went with Crazy Behaviour, Danny James.
I think it was the third one. I think it was actually the third one, Jim.
What? We looked at it. We studied the 4 songs which would become the Crazy Behaviour tune. We put it out there. We started our lives with Crazy Behaviour song, and we finished with Crazy Behaviour.
No, you did, Jim, right? And when you fucked off, I said to you, oh, look, Jim, can I just have Crazy Behaviour? Like, will you not be bothered? Can I just pinch it? But I never ever did, mate, out of respect. I still don't. It's
Danny
there.
James went from having 10 views on his Crazy Behaviour song to becoming a multinational fucking. He released it in the charts. It got to number 17 in the charts. It's had now nearly over 5.5 million views. Fucking hell, man. He's sitting there thinking, what the fuck's going on here?
The thing was, though, Jim, it was a good song, wasn't it? It was catchy and that, wasn't it? The words and that.
It was. It went on after about the 5th minute. He started getting really religious. So the long version of Crazy Behaviour, fuck me, man. It does really start going religious. And even said that's too much for YouTube.
He's got an album out, that fella, though, and he's like a gospel singer or something.
He's reborn, mate. That year we done promoting this song, literally flipped that guy's life around. He was on Skid Row, I tell you. He was putting videos out which were getting 12 views. Crazy Behaviour went from 12 views to 4.5 fucking million. It was everywhere. The guy owes me. He owes us because we've done it as a joint. We reviewed 4 of them that night.
Who's
now, if I play Crazy, now if I play it, I get fucking copyright.
Jim, have you been reading the chat? Oh, are you too pissed for that?
No, I'm not pissed. We had 3 pints, but the phone's on the seat, so I can't read it. I've just got my earphones in.
I'm not going to lie, right, Jim. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I told everyone, right, before you came on. I don't know if you were listening. I don't think you were, because I knew you were going out, and I had to deal with the chat, right. I said, look, I have a feeling Jim's going to come on, right, and the later after 10 o'clock it is, the more pissed he's going to be. So I was going to try and get 500 quid out of you.
I haven't got PayPal no more, mate.
Mr. England said, make it a grand.
Have you got a Bitcoin account?
No, but yeah, Jim, you've just reminded me. You made a post, didn't you, about Jerry Helmet? Phil's best mate, Jerry Helmet.
1st of September, Jerry Helmet come on your channel.
He was right.
He
was right, Phil.
He come on your channel and he told people to invest in Bitcoin. On the 1st of September, I looked Bitcoin up. It was 20 for one Bitcoin was £20,504. As from last week or the week before, I put a community post up. 6 months later, that same Bitcoin is worth £59,700.
Can't argue with
Profit
that.
of £50,000. That's from a guy people were saying was an idiot on YouTube. Who were the fucking idiots?
But you know what? You know what though, Jim? He's been about for a while, Jerry. Phil knows him, and Phil's got no love for him. But I think I
Couldn't
don't.
care less about it, mate. But he's the only YouTube that's given us a £30,000 investment over 6 months. Fuck that. Can't
It's
knock
better
that,
than
can you?
one of your tips, that, isn't it? It's better than one of your tips, that.
Oh, my tips
Did you bet at Cheltenham, Jim? Did you bet at Cheltenham? Did you do any good, or did you not bother?
Did they put any posts up saying how much I won?
Can't remember.
Did you know?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
That means I did back at Cheltenham, but I didn't win. Don't forget, people will only put tips up when they're winning. The problem with gambling is it's great putting all up what you win. What you don't want to put up is how much you're losing. My advice to anyone is don't gamble. Seriously. It's not worth it. Not even fucking the Grand National. It's not worth it. Keep your money in your pocket.
This
Spend
week,
your money
innit?
on your own. There's no
It's this
such
week,
thing as
innit?
fucking easy money through gambling. Invest your money. That's what I say. Put it in an investment account. Buy stocks and shares. Buy Bitcoin when people in September tell you to. Do that type of investment. Go into a bookies thinking you're going to walk. You will walk out. You will post it to say how great you are and how fantastic you are. Tell you what, if you're a proper gambler, pull up all your losses. Pull up all your losing bets. And tell everyone how great you are as a tipster. Gambling's fucking
You know
bad,
what?
mate.
The Grand National, though, Jim, is nothing about the Grand National. It's just another race now, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because the horses are that good.
But they've just changed it again. They've now put the first fence further away from the start. The first fence was always the best part of the National because it was such a fast start and the first fence was so near to that start that you had to be ready. You've got it. And in a way, it dictated then the running order. They put it further away now. It makes it easier for the horses to settle down, the jockeys. Not just that, they took it from 40 runners to 34. The fences are smaller. It's not the Grand National, is it no more? It's just a horse race.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as a favourite years ago, you never got a 10-1 favourite, did you? They were all over 10-1. Now you're getting an even favourite for the National.
Yeah, you're getting some really.
Takes it all away from it. I thought it was funny that year when they had the false start, you know, and they went all the way around.
I've done three horses in the National earlier anti-post. I've done I Am Maximus. I've done a horse called Kitty Sutton, and my final outsider. Those two, I Am Maximus will win the Grand National this year. I'm going to tell you that right now. That will win. It's the second favourite. I think when I put it on, I got 14 or 15 to 1 for it. Kitty, I got 20 to 1 for that. That will get placed. But maybe the outsider is a horse called Tullybag. Or Tully, yeah, I think it's called Tullybag. And I fancy that to get a place. And I think I got 200 to 1 for that. But it's the fucking Grand National favourite, fucking 2 to 1. Which is,
I can't get into the horses. I've never been in. I'd rather have a footy bet. The horses don't do it for me.
Yeah.
But this year we've got a load of sport. This year we've got the Euros. This year, and the Olympics. What people don't seem to have started mentioning yet. The Euro stuff hasn't kicked in yet, has it? Because we've still got some big teams in the European Cup, haven't they? Did you see any of the results last night?
I haven't seen them tonight. I've seen last night's one. I've seen the City and Paris Saint-Germain play tonight. How did they go?
I'm not
they always
sure.
Fail they always fail. Last night was good. Yeah, Real Madrid can't be written off. Real Madrid are a Champions League team.
Yeah, they've got.
I know City got 3. Madrid's one of those teams that can come and score 1 at City's ground, and then that's it. They'll just put everyone in fucking the goal mouth. They're a good team,
I
is it?
think. Do you reckon Arsenal can win the league this season?
Uh, yeah, I think it's totally possible. I think, well, let's put it this way: it's in the hands of Arsenal and Liverpool, and they've both got the same points. Arsenal have got a better goal difference. Liverpool play weaker teams, so could perhaps
Who?
change that goal difference. But if Liverpool win the last 7 games, I think Liverpool will win the league because I think they will recover that goal difference, even if Arsenal win their last 7 games. Yeah, I don't think City will win it. I think it'll be either Arsenal or Liverpool. I think it's totally within their hands. I can see Liverpool slipping up. I can't see Arsenal slipping up. Or I can see Arsenal slipping up. I can't see both of them slipping up. I just think City now they're in the position we were a couple of years ago where it's gone. That 1 point has fucked them. And
Jim,
even
that
if they
was
win their
Jim, in Liverpool now, right? As a Liverpool supporter, do they still think that wasn't properly winning the Premiership because of COVID and stuff? Is that the feeling?
no,
Like they need to do it again? I think, don't they?
no, I think the only way that could have happened is the only team who could have won it during that circumstances was Liverpool, because that's what Liverpool's about. Liverpool's a special place. Liverpool always has been, and they do things that other teams never do. So that year for COVID, when Liverpool, who was going to win the Premier League that year? There was only one team win. That was Liverpool, playing in front of
I
empty
know.
grounds and empty stadiums. It wouldn't have, if it would have been any other team, it wouldn't have the same significance. We couldn't celebrate that Premier League win. You couldn't get the masses on the streets. But yeah, it sums Liverpool up as a city and history with everything. We've always been the controversial team. We've always been the team of
Let's
drama
forget
and
about
noise.
let's forget about football for a minute, right? Because we've got some big scousers in the chat, right? We've got Steve McGeary, yourself, Phil, and there is some big scousers on YouTube in there, right? So take away the football. Take away the football. What's brilliant about Liverpool as a city and that?
Look, I know a lot of people will say that this is not true, but because there's certain people on YouTube who, over the years from Liverpool, who've perhaps let Liverpool down in a way. But look, you can't judge a whole community based on a few individuals. Liverpool's just a fantastic city, a great community, very loyal. Liverpool people are loyal. Yeah, it's not what it was years ago, but that loyalty is still there. It's different. You can go to Liverpool. I'm not saying go walk around that screen at 11 o'clock at night
Yeah.
or some of the areas in Liverpool and think you're going to get a great welcome. Like it was easy to get mugs, but that happens in every city. But you can walk around Liverpool city centre on any night of the week, and people will accept you. They'll speak to you. They'll have a conversation with you. They will talk to you. You know, I can go to any other city. Yes, I do get welcomes. You do get welcomes. People will, but not to the same extent of the same as what Scousers do. Scousers is different. It's just a different community. It's a different feeling. Yes, there is these areas, and you will not go. I'm talking about the city centres of Liverpool. Very loyal and very honest people in them senses. They'll rob your fucking car at the end of the night. But that happens in Essex.
So
By the
how
way, I
long have you
didn't
been in Southampton, Jim?
31 years.
And you still feel at home in Liverpool, though, don't you? Still feel like you're going home, don't you?
It is home every time I go home. And yet people, Scousers in Liverpool, know that I don't live in Liverpool through my accent. They go, oh, you're Scouse? And I go, yeah. And they go, where do you live now? When did you move? Because they know the accent changes. But if I spend more than a week in Liverpool, my Scouse accent comes back. It gets a lot more harsh. You know, but it's, yeah, I feel very comfortable in Liverpool. My kids haven't got Scouse accents. They feel welcome in Liverpool.
So what's the big rivalry, Jim? Like, take football away again, Manchester and Liverpool. Like, is there a bit of beef going on there? Is it because
Yeah, it's all
Liverpool
to
got
do.
all the money from the docks and stuff? Is that what it's all about?
No, it's quite the opposite. It's the
Is it?
fact that Manchester took a lot of work from Liverpool through the docks, through the canals, through transportation. Southampton's done the same, so there's a lot of other cities in this country. But that was due to the governments, the Conservative governments at the time, that were on a campaign to destroy Liverpool to the best they could. And unfortunately, and I hate to say this, it was also down to the ignorance of the unions in Liverpool who helped destroy Liverpool. They literally did. They bought, no, let's go out on strike, let's do this. They didn't realise the bigger consequences of it. These union people were still getting paid when the strikers were not getting paid. They were getting a wage, they were making a living. They were living in the good houses, the good areas of Liverpool. Uh, Unfortunately, the Liverpool people were following, because we're loyal and our unions were telling us to go on strike. We went on strike. We supported our fellow people. If the doctors went out and we worked in another industry, we would go out in respect for the doctors because the unions asked us to support. What the unions and the councillors at the time, those people were making fortunes. They were doing deals and plans to buy up properties and businesses and look after themselves. Those are the people who fuck Liverpool up.
So Liverpool
Then they
got
put in touch
what was that?
a Conservative government who hated Liverpool. They didn't want Liverpool having all this industry. They wanted to bring this industry, Tate& Lyle's, Bibbies, the docks, the container bases, the leisure industry, the yachting. They wanted to move all that to the south of England. They wanted it there. It was tied up in Liverpool. So once you put the government involved due to the fact the governments are there to help us due to the riots, the governments
Hey,
were there
Jim,
for fuck
to
all.
let you know it's me, I'm not porn bombing you out. And if I was, it wouldn't be worth out looking at.
I've got no phone on, is that nice?
Yes, good evening,
It
Jim. How you
sure
doing,
is,
mate?
man.
Oh,
Sure
mate.
is.
Hey, I can't see you, mate. It's me.
Yeah, good to see you,
Porn
boss.
bomber.
How you getting on?
Porn
Sorry if I
bomber.
interrupted you there, Jim.
No, it's fine. I was just giving a controversial opinion on why I thought Liverpool got fucked up by the sun. Look, it's my opinion, innit?
Yeah, well, that's
Hey,
it.
Liverpool
Norris,
witnessed himself.
what's your city, Norris? Norris, you're Manchester more, aren't you, Norris?
Do you know who I actually support as a football team? My father
Nottingham.
used to write fuck it, it might even dox me this, I don't give a shit. My dad used to write the fanzine for Grimsby Town. So I was always a Grimsby fan, but we never won anything, so I hated football.
But you know what? What a place, Grimsby. I don't know whether you're from Grimsby.
Well, my
But
father
if I had
was
to pick
born and bred.
if I had to pick another place which is on a similar level to Liverpool, it would be Grimsby.
Oh, it's a
Fucking
shithole, all right.
no, but it's a tough fucking place, mate. Where there was at once a lot of industry, a lot of fucking.
Yeah.
I just think
Do you
the
know
You
what?
know what I mean?
I'm a bit pissed, so I've not fully understood where you're getting at there. But yes, you're right. It was a dock town that turned into a bit of a shithole due to the industry collapsing on itself, and then ended up basically riddled with drugs when really it was riddled with industry back in the day. So yeah, I agree with you there, man. Yeah.
I agree with you, mate.
How are you doing, Norris? Anyway, Norris, are you having a good? Are you in a good place, mate? Or what?
Yeah, mate. Listen, we've
You've
been
done a
out
few
tonight
live.
with a few nice friends. There's an Italian restaurant we go to. He shuts the doors. It's Goodfellas style. You go through the back. He shuts the doors off. Got a few nice fucking Tia Marias tonight. That's it. I'm happy. Last thing I'm thinking
You know
about
what?
YouTube.
Norris, I hope you don't mind me saying this, and Moon, I hope you don't mind me. I ghosted Norris's live the other night. Norris does these lives, and within 5 minutes they're gone, mate. And
Yeah.
I've never laughed so fucking much in my life. He had
Oh,
Eddie
cheer
in the
you up,
chat.
Jim.
Honest, you had Eddie in
That's
the
the only
chat.
reason I fucking come on, you know. Because, like, I'm the same. I sit there and I'm fucking bored of the night and I'm like, these
It's
like
very
fucking-
random.
I'm gonna say I don't give a shit. You know, like you go on shuffling and that, and you're like, you're a fucking sick little worm, and then you go on another one and you go, you're just a fucking wanker, and then you go, do you know what? Fuck it, let's go live and have a laugh. Do you know what I mean?
But Doris, you were the same. You had the same community in there, but it was so fucking funny. And Nostog kept catching Eddie out. It was brilliant. I've never laughed. It was only a short live. Well, it wasn't actually a short live. You went on for quite a bit. I was amazed up. It was like 1 hour and 40
You
minutes.
know what, Jim? I actually fucking enjoyed for a chat. It was a bit like I'm glad you watched that live because it was like the old days. Like I was relaxed and I was.
It was.
You know what I mean? I enjoyed it, mate. It was good. It was good fun.
I felt a bit.
I managed to take them trolls off, mate.
Not that it bothers you. And listen, not that it bothers you. I did give it a like because I know you delete your life. But I didn't want to write in the chat because I said to Moon a few weeks ago, I've stopped going into. I'm in watching chats, but because I say things which are a bit controversial and people don't, and I don't want to bring that drama to the channel.
Good lad, Jim. Listen, I'm the same. When I'm on it and I'm on somebody's neck because I think they're a cunt, I don't like to. I'm the same, mate. Listen, I get it, but by all means, you're welcome in mine. Whatever you say, Jim. I don't. I don't give a fuck. Listen, Shadow Bacon, all the rest of them, you bang on. It's just annoying for me because these motherfuckers will start getting into my family and that I start talking. You know what I
mean? And I know that they've done it to you. They've done it to Scouse.
You know what I mean? We've never spoke offline. We don't need to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it was great catching that live. It was just brilliant that I was away. And of course, I got the announcement and I went, yeah, fucking get in there and listen to it. And I literally enjoyed it. Great entertainment.
You're right, though.
Great laugh.
You're right, though, Jim. You're right, though. When Norris fires alive, you wait till he gets it all going, and then he just goes, I'm off now.
I don't like it, you know.
He gets about 20 people and everyone's like, we're settled for an hour, and then Norris is like,
my magic number is 16, Moon. If I hit 16, I'm the fuck out of there. That'll do me. More than 16 people, my brain can't comprehend what they're thinking about me.
I might lose signal. I'm going to walk to my bedroom. This is I'm fucking freezing sitting in the car.
Norris, a lot of people don't know this about Norris. Norris is only 12 people in here, but Norris has been here for a long time.
Before I got on here.
You've been here for a long time, haven't you, mate? You've seen it all, haven't you?
Do you know what I mean, Moon? We've all been about a long time, but what I've realised is I'm going to just quickly. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, mate. But I'm just going to say this right now, and this is my honest, genuine opinion. I usually try and keep me cards close to my chest, but my honest opinion of this YouTube is I'm getting a bit older now, and I'm getting a bit wiser, and I understand that it takes a lot of different people to make the world go round. And my opinion and my moral compass might be a bit strong. So I'm just not interested in it's like I'm with Jim. This fucking Shadow Bacon, he wants his fucking arse kicking. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not interested. It's like there's thousands of them motherfuckers. Do you know what I mean? And it consumes you and it depresses you. So I try and avoid that and just try and come on and have a laugh, if you know what I mean. But like, sorry, I got a bit off subject there. But you get what I mean, don't you? I was a bit. It upsets me when I see people like Jim and like I feel like I'm going to say it. Fuck it, and I'm sure people feel the same in the chat. Like when I seen Jim and he went against that guy. If I was in a pub or in any other scenario, and I seen Jim and he was angry, and I said, "You're right, mate. What's going on?" He goes, "Fucking bastard over there." You know what he did him? We'd go over, we'd address it, we'd get him out the fucking bar quick, sharpish, and he'd get a good hiding if I had the opportunity. Whereas on here, you can't, like, if I was to, you know, and that's like Jim scared to fucking say hello to me in my chat because he said something about some fucking bacon a week before. It's annoying, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It is annoying. But yeah, sorry, just rambling on there, mate. Sorry, mate.
No, mate, that's what it's all about, man. Norris, I can sit and listen to you, mate. We've talked about all sorts over the years, man. And I reckon, Norris, I've been on your panel more than most, like, and you don't even open your panel much. do you?
No, I don't really. I'll be honest. I'm a bit of a Cluedo. I'm a bit of a Jim. I'm a bit like Jim. I can't help myself, and I dip my toe in these horrible circles. I go, that when you feel like something's wrong, Jim, and you go, oh, that's annoying me, that, and you can't help but say something, and you say something, and then it attracts a load of drama to you. And then it ruins it for a lot of the other people in the chat because they then get targeted because they come in your chat and you opened your mouth about a super troll who's got 40 fucking accounts. So then they get it. And then they're scared to come in your chat and all that. And I'm the same as Jim. I don't like to go and put comments in people's chats because I might fucking attract that attention. Do you remember that time, Moon, when you came in mine and some cunt were doxing me and putting my picture in the chat and all that? And then I went over to gyms and they started doing it in gyms. I never did it again after that. If someone were trolling me, I'd just go in my shell and I'd leave it out, until they left because I didn't want to bring it to people's channels. How disgusting is that? I don't come
Norris,
here
I
to
remember all that. That really got to you. That
never spoke to you
that
about
was the worst. That was the worst I'd seen you on here. That really got to you. That
wasn't it, mate? Naughty that. Whoever was doing that, shame on you. Because I've only ever, and by all means, if anybody's got a serious problem with me, whatever I've got to say on here, just get hold of somebody offline and you can meet me, no problem. And that's not like talking big or anything like that. If you're a 18 stone heavyweight champion of the world, meet me, no problem. I am prepared to put my chin on the line for what I've got to say online. Not a lot of people have, but I definitely have. And if anybody would want to meet with me for anything I've said online, I have got no problem with it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Plus, Norris, you're the only person let's not forget this. Let's not forget Norris is the only person on YouTube to give, was it a left or right down Podref's pipe?
Do you know what? It's just a shame, innit? Because, and I'm just being dead real. I've had a few beers, so I'm like letting loose a little bit. I'm like not as
you met him, Norris. You met the lad,
as
didn't you?
I normally am. I'm just going to let it out a little bit. It's just a shame that we couldn't have got a bit of a nice bunch of lads together and done a couple of events and done a couple of things and under the banner of good people with good morals. Do you know what I mean? And it just never happened, did it? You couldn't, under these restraints, what we're dealing with under these YouTube restraints, it's difficult because there's so many faceless people that can affect other people. Do you know what I mean? Like with me. They did it with me, didn't they? I mean, they did it with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, so you met the Podref, you got in the ring with him, didn't you? You had a little spar with you, didn't he? And you taught him a lesson.
No, please.
You did.
The way it worked was, he said to me, I fancy having a go. And I said, well, the best way to gauge it is to get in with somebody who's not going to potentially, try and damage you. I'm not going to try and damage you or anything like that. And I'll just gauge where you're at. If you're like, if you're really good and I've got my wits about you, we're going to throw down. You know what I mean? Like if I've got and then I just thought, just dip your toe, have a go. And if it's something that you enjoy and you embrace, then no problem. If you want to do a bit of training after that and you want to have a bout, just let me know. But yeah,
you gave him a good dig though, didn't you? He felt it, didn't he?
Just playing, nothing. Please, it was just like messing about. We weren't.
Man, once you're in that ring, it's a good dig is a good dig. You've got in the ring.
It was just a bit of slap and tickle, nothing crazy. But he I think what the good thing about me is if and this is to anybody out there, and I'm not talking big or anything like that. I really enjoy training, and I'm starting to really enjoy the sparring side of it again. And if there's anybody out there that fancies gauging whether they want to box again, and they're around the sort of 11 to 13 stone mark, just give us a shout. I'll come down, no problem. I'll bring me gummy. I'll bring a set of pads. Work our way in slowly.
You're not going to take the piss. You're not going to go in there and try and disgrace them or make a show of them.
No, there's no cameras. I don't do cameras. The ref was like, "Oh, should we put a camera on and all that?" I was like, "Don't do it to yourself. Just listen, just embrace it. See how you feel about it. you know, I'm not there to try and light somebody up, and I just love the sport. And if somebody else wants to do
Let's
it,
face it, though, Norris. Let's face it, right? The out of everyone on YouTube who you know and you spoke to, how many have you got in the ring with?
oh, I'll tell you what, you know, let me tell you a quick funny one. I got I got Pablo one day, right? Right. Listen, so I shouldn't really say this, should I?
Too late.
Sorry, I got Pablo one day, and we were in, and I took him to a bit of a gym. And it was when he was all, you know what I mean? I shouldn't really go on about this, but it was like he was all right, one, you know, at the time, and I don't give a fuck, whatever. I mean, I'm probably not going to return to YouTube, so it don't really matter what. And I didn't
So
mind
this
it.
is the early days of Pablo, is it?
You know,
when we talk.
I maybe I'm a bit soft, but I see like the gooder side in the nicer side in people, and I
Yeah,
me a few. Do you know what I mean? And he was a bit of a baby, like he was like, I found him like to be a bit of a baby and like, you know, wanting advice and things, and nothing against him, please. I'm not saying he's like a fucking faggot. Right? I'm just saying he come across that way a bit. And I took him to the gym and I started cracking the bag a bit, and I was getting a bit giddy, and I went, you know, what do you reckon? You know, do you find he weren't that keen? He weren't that keen, so we didn't actually do any sparring, me and Pablo, but. Yeah, I think he probably should have done, because then he'd have gone, do you know what? There's no point in having a bare knuckle because it's not for me. Do you know what I mean? I kind of cure people a bit. You know what I mean?
We all seen the 3D Fight Club, mate. I mean, it was fucking jokes, wasn't it?
I don't know. It's just a shame, you know. It's just a shame, and I don't give a fuck. You know, people might think I'm a cock for saying this or whatever, but you know, why do you have to ask for money, Moon, Jim? You know what I mean? What if you just didn't ask for money off people, and you just stayed in your lane, and you just carried on? Do you know what I mean, Jim? Like, there's no need to ask anyone for out. That's where that clip YouTube for me. I didn't want. I shouldn't really talk about the lad because he's not on here anymore. But I couldn't really be doing with him.
But he's relevant, Norris, because I seen him, right, mate. And this all ties in with all this little community we've got in here, right? There's only 16 of us here now, right? I seen Clip YouTube. I'd never heard of the fella. I seen him for 2 or 3 of his lives, and I thought, I like him. And listen, I went in his chat, and he modded me up, and I had him on here for an hour and a half, and I got everything.
Jim, right, I'm sorry, I've got to say it. I've got to interrupt. I've got to say it. It's like when Jim was fuming about that fucking bacon of a thing, right? He didn't start trying to. What annoyed me is we now know that your opinion on this man is he's a bit of a wrong un, right? And I was kind of of the same opinion. I'm thinking to myself, I agree with you. You know what I mean? I've seen a few things there that I'm not impressed with. Not for 1 minute did Jim or me or anyone else ever try and monetize or make money from that. And the minute you try and make money from outing somebody or being the moral compass is a moment I go, hang on a minute, you've just put a distaste in my mouth for that. And maybe it's just me, and I'm not saying everyone should feel the same way. Do you know what I mean? If Jim put a fucking advert on the front of calling that bacon of a thing, I'd be like, fucking hell, Jim, steady on with adverts, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's just my personal preference, whereas we're not like that. Do you know what I mean?
Jim gives money away on here, Norris said. Jim splashing his cash last week on here, 5 memberships.
Fucking tank of fuel in it, least you come.
5 memberships we give away, and Nosdog. Like, this is only the other day, Norris.
Nice lads, you know, like Nosdog. Like I met up with Nosdog, right? And he's feral and no bullshit. He's a bit wild, you know. And I don't give a fuck. I like him, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I like him. I met with him. He's feral, him, you know. You don't fuck. He's game, him, you know.
Mate, he my chat on Saturday night. He left me a comment saying that chat was fucking brilliant on Saturday night. He loves all that. He loves all the drama.
What it is, a lot of these guys, middle-aged, white, straight males, they get a bad rep, if you know what I mean. It's a bit annoying, like someone like Nosdog, someone like me, but they're just good. They are actually, like, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Nosdog's a caring guy. When I'm having an issue, if I'm feeling a bit down, I'll get a text message. What's going on, bro? You all right, mate? How you doing? You okay? Not talking shit about bits of muppets online. He's asking if I'm okay, checking in. Do you know what I mean? There's not many do that.
I came across Nostalgia, the likes of some of the smaller channels, which a lot of people don't go into. I remember about a year and a half ago, likes of Danny Styler from Manchester, where Danny's from. Nostalgia used to go in there. He used to have 3 or 4 people in his chat. But it was good chat. It was, and everyone, people dislike him or like him. Doesn't really matter. For me, these are people they're doing it because they're getting pleasure out of what they're doing, but it's also helping them. They're putting content out because you can see they're trying to do something different with their lives or whatever through social media. And that's, it's what I came across when I was talking Danny Styler's chat.
Well,
so what was up with Danny Styler?
And this is the truth. He's a family man. He's got a nice doggy. He's got a nice family. He's a good man that works hard. He's a good, hard-working Englishman that loves people around him. Do you know what I mean? What more can you ask of a guy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's fucking funny as well, which is, you know what I mean? Like, he knows that he comes in here, and I always notice when Nostog's in, man.
Oh, you missed it.
Same as you, Norris. I'm buzzing. I mean, there's not nowhere else on YouTube you're going to get me, you, and Norris on the channel. You know what I mean?
And by the way, Moon, I didn't mean, the other day, when you said, do you mind if I put a live up? When we did the other day, and I was like, don't, mate, don't, but don't think I'll be in a knobhead.
No.
I'm just sick and tired.
Yeah,
of it, like every time. Sorry to go on about it. I don't mean to be, when they go on about victim claiming and all that. Every time somebody mentioned my wife through here, it was getting me down because I love her so much, and I don't give a fuck. It's my weak spot. Yeah, that's it. You got me. There you go. You want to get me offline? Keep going on about my wife because I love her. Do you know what I mean? And just like any decent man would do with a wife, and it was getting me down. So I was out of character, if you know what I mean. I'll be honest. I'm ready for action when it comes to my family, just like anybody else is. Do you know what I mean? And it was that they just picked that shit, and it's my probably monginess to not realise that it's just online. You can't be getting emotionally attached when you just block and ignore. But it's hard. It's fucking hard when they're saying shit. That's gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? And people in the chat, Jim, they don't fully understand if they haven't had a channel. They don't, do they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a channel owner, when you're getting attacked and your family's getting attacked, there's nothing. You, unless you've had it done to you, you don't know what it feels like, and it's not nice. It's horrible, because you had an opinion on some bit of a wrong un, and the wrong un's decided to get real wrong with you. You know what I mean?
Well, not to drag anyone into this, but I look at it now with the likes of it as a channel. Once it gets to that level where you get attacked because you're the channel owner and you're doing a little bit of live, which can have either 10 or 50 people, it doesn't matter. It's how then you react to that and you turn around and go, well, fuck you, or but look at the way this tunes and shuffling shit's gone. It's ridiculous. Absolutely.
Oh, that's just bullshit. I can't even listen to that, Jim. I can't. What the fuck is that?
But you look at it and you think, as an adult, I'm sitting there looking at it, going, exactly what you just said. What the fuck are you doing?
Can you imagine you were stood in any scenario and shuffling was there and that tunes was the other side of you, Jim? I mean, you know what I mean? You can hear them talking like that. You'd just turn round, you'd walk the other way, and you'd go, "What a couple of wankers!"
Norris, can you remember though? It was only a year ago when you were on the panel with me. Not Shuffling was on this panel regularly. Remember, and he was getting them photos out.
And I don't give a fuck, right? People might say this, that, and the other. If I'd have got a grip of Shuffling, and I was to speak to him the way he speaks to Julian and Anton and all that, he'd never behave like that online. He's a baby. And I'd get a grip of him and go, don't be like that. Don't be talking about people's fucking partners that are bad. Don't do it, mate. Don't do it. That's naughty. And he'd go, yeah, I know, but they've said this. Yeah, but that two wrongs don't make a right, do they? You know what I mean? You'd work it out with him, and I'm sure he's reasonable enough to back up, whereas he's just got people going, yeah, fucking do this, do that. It's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? The amount of if somebody come on this panel right now and said, fuck you, Norris, you live here, you're a fucking cunt, I'm going to stab you. Do you know what I'd do? I'd press end, leave. I'd make no videos about them. I would never discuss them again, and I'd just move on because it's absolute negative bullshit.
You think Expo will come back and start doing lives?
No. Why
think
would he?
he's
You know what I mean? Why would he? You know what I mean? The point is with Expo, and I think you could say this about. Sorry, I feel like I'm taking over the chat.
Go on, Norris. Go on, fella. Go on.
Yeah. So, and sorry, chat, if I'm being a gobby bastard.
Go for it.
A bit pissed. Sorry. How could Expo? So what happens is on here, you meet people. So let's say you and Jim turned out to be the Yorkshire Ripper and his gay partner up here, right? Let's say you turned out to be a couple of strangling rapists. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. A couple of stranglers or whatever. You know what I mean? Sexual assaulters, right? And because I've been on a panel with you, now I can't come back on YouTube. I didn't know nothing about you guys. And there's a lot of that goes on. So Expo's had people on his panel that are now being targeted regularly. And I can't imagine for a million years, after finding out some of the things that have gone on with these people, that he's going to want to do a live with them. So he's like, well, that's the end of it, isn't it? Anyone I've had on my live has been, you know what I mean? It's like, that's done, isn't it? It's like, we had a bit of a laugh. It's over. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Norris, one of the best times I've seen of you was when you done that, when you went to the fight club. That was brilliant that week. You must have enjoyed that, Norris. You did enjoy that.
Every time I did that, someone got really targeted badly online.
Did you?
Yeah, really badly.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, I got badly targeted, and I stopped doing it because I'd be on the drive down, and they tell me that can't be arsed going on about it, but I'm not bullshitting. People seen it, you know what I mean, in my chat, and they'd say I'd be on my way to Manchester, and someone would say, I'm on my way to your house, I'm going to smash your missus in, you know, like that, and I'd be worrying. Do you know what I mean? I'd be fucking worrying. And I know it's just a comment in a thing, but you sat there, it's on your mind, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'm thinking, is my going online going to cause a brick to come through my fucking window because somebody's being weird? Do you know what I mean? And there is, and people say it's YouTube, but try and tell Paul Ellis when he's getting arrested. Try and tell Buggies when he's got the cuffs on and they're putting him in the back of a van. Try and tell Paddy Conroy when his farm's getting fucking raided. Do you know what I mean? Try telling Declan when he's up in the dock today. All these people, it's real life crimes, you know, that they're committing. I'm not committing them crimes. I love my family too much. Stay away from me. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I view that shit.
That's crazy though, because that was brilliant, Norris. That was absolutely because I'd watched you for a while, right, and listened to you. I just seen that and I thought, oh, that's fucking, you know, the way like you were there. You said you turned up, you put your camera on, which you don't normally do, you know, and I think everyone liked it apart from them freaks who like do that, who say shit.
Well, no,
like
what it is like. So imagine, and you've got to put yourself in their position, Moon, right? And I'm gonna, if you're listening now, anybody who's like this, listen carefully. You sat there. I understand. You've probably not had a shag in about 10 years. You sat there. You're fuming. You're struggling to get work. You're struggling. You've probably put a load of weight on. You're a bit pissed off. You know what I mean? Things ain't going great for you. You get to come online and you get to make a guy like me feel like dog shit. You get to call me. You get to get your kicks out of it. I understand that. Listen, I get it. I'll be honest, Moon. I'm not fucking mentally tough enough to have 20 people on my case. So it ain't for me, YouTube. My normal life's pretty sound. Do you know what I mean? But I enjoyed like times like this when I get on with you and Jim and we can have a bit of a crack and we've got like Phil and the boys in the chat. It's nice, you know what I mean? But very rarely we get it like that. I'm usually being attacked.
When I hear you saying, Norris, oh, that's it, I'm going, I think, fucking hell, man.
I can't stand it though, Moon, honestly. I love you guys and I do. I love people. I care for people. But there's some people on here and they just literally ruin it. They ruin it.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be in the chat and they'll just stick a comment in, and you just know the way they've written it, and you're like, I don't even want to go in that chat now. Do you know what I mean? Some creepy thing hovering around. Like, do you know what I mean? Do you get what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, of course I do.
But
It's
I know
like,
is the internet. It is what it is. It is what it
but
is.
there's a lot of people though, Norris. Like, wouldn't you think that after all these years you'd have got like used to it? Because everyone says, "Oh, you
Oh,
get
I'm totally
thick
used to
skin,
it,
you
mate.
get
Listen,
used to it."
they can come at me. They could post letters through my letterbox with shit in it. They could set a fire, a paper bag with shit in it on my front lawn. I wouldn't be arsed. I've got a wife and I've got children. Do you know what I mean? This ain't no joke. Do you know what I mean? You start bothering them, I'm doing prison time. And that's no joke. I'm not, all jokes aside, anybody bothers my wife or my son, I'm doing a lot of prison time. Simple as that. Either that or you're going to have to kill me. You know what I mean? So it's no joke for me that. So I have to kind of pump the brakes on it a little bit. I don't mind coming on and having a bit of a laugh with you guys, but
That's it, Norris. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you say you're going, just remember that, like, these chats here are like what do it for me. You know what I mean? The people in the chat now.
Yeah, it's kind of been took away from me a bit. Like Jim was saying, like, didn't want to come in.
Want to go in.
I don't want to go in anymore. I can't be fucking arsed because I've got like fucking Steve Farding's 16th account call me a fucking nonce or something. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just never ending, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's fucking. I know exactly.
I've got two wise owls on my panel. That's the way I just see it. You know what I mean?
Do you know what we should do to piss them all off? Should start having regular meetups with the boys. No fucking weird shit. Have a few pints, couple of games of pool. I'll bring a couple of fucking sets of boxing gloves. Anyone fancies it? Let's have a do in car park. That's it. Done. Do you know what I mean? It'd be good content. Everyone would get on, but you've got to be careful because everyone starts saying that like I'm having sex with Jim and all. You know what I mean? Like,
the problem with that now, it's too real. Yeah. People want to make things up. It's too real. It's not doing that.
Talking of real, right? I can't have Jim on the panel, Norris, without reminding him about him being right in the thick of it at the first Friday Night Fight Club. The Harlan and the
fucking hell. I tell you what, Jim, that were an odd sell.
Jim was in the bed, Norris. Jim was in the bed. He was in the bedroom. There was a lie going on with.
Listen, I'm pretty quiet about so much shit I've seen over these years, so I can only imagine what the hell was going on there in the moist fucking cottage.
Never come across much like that night with those people. So,
tell us about Ash, Jim. Tell us about Ash. Tell us about
every person who turns up at that event was fantastic. For the first 40 minutes, Ash String was fantastic. What went wrong at that event is Hector turns up and says, "We're going down the pub for a drink. Does anyone want to come?" So a few people went down the pub. Within 5 minutes, Ash String was a totally different person.
Is this on the Friday, Jim, or the Thursday?
It's on the Thursday. No one had met each other. Everyone had only met each other for 20 minutes. Ash String thought he knew everyone for years, and everyone had accepted his behaviour. It was just shocking. That was it. It was gone, mate. And then we had 6 hours, around 6-7 hours of Ash String fucking just acting this total fucking idiot. Don't forget, I didn't know none of these. I turned up. I'd met, spoken to Filmboy a few times. Filmboy wasn't even there, and everyone's blaming Filmboy. He wasn't there.
So I want to know what you were expecting, Jim. What were you expecting from that night? What did you expect?
Couple of boxing matches, wasn't it?
I was expecting everyone to turn up. There was a gym there. They were going to do a bit of training and filming. They were then going to do, some sparring sessions leading to the event in the evening.
Yeah,
No.
very good shout, Nos Dog. I remember that. Sorry, Jim.
But there was some fantastic guys there. No, you had Eddie,
Eddie
Dan,
was a legend.
and someone else turns up in their car. So when they turns up, they know good set of lads, mate. They didn't go out drinking. They turned up. They had a look around the gym. They done some training in the gym. They then went for a meal. Those three. They just
Yeah.
all went off. Years later, I don't know if they went to meal. They went for something. But then you had no a lot of Hector's friends, professional fucking boxers, really good lads. No, when I went over to the pub, uh, he introduced me to them. It's a great conversation with some real good boxers. No, from days ago, where Norris, no
Yeah,
guys who
listen,
had made it, area champions, and it was great meeting.
it's
But
annoying, you know,
Astrid,
because I was like that Hector, like between me and you, like, well, between me and you and everyone in the chat and YouTube, like, there was like, I never spoke to that Hector ever, but we had this kind of like Ash kept saying stuff like Hector kept saying watch Norris and all that. I know what he is and he knows what I am, if you know what I mean. And at some point it would have been good if me and him could have had a bit of a ding dong, had a bit of a, do you know what I mean? It would have been good, but because of people like Ash, I just
you couldn't
stayed
get involved.
well away.
No, and I don't blame them. I mean, no disrespect to anyone. I only know Hector through the 3Z Fight Club. I've never spoken to him on panels or anything. And through, not 3Z, 3 Friday Night Fight Club. The guy went out of his way, honest to God, because we were in the forest and the pub is a bit away, you know what I mean? It was, no, you're not getting a taxi. Me missus is going to pick us up in
Oh,
the
well, that was good
lovely,
of him. Do you know what I mean?
lovely motor. We'll take you down. We will drop you back. We'll take you to the, no, go and make sure you got a meal and everything. But not just that, we'll introduce you to the guys from the gym. He's done a great big charity night, mate. Remember the boxer who passed away, unfortunately? Professional. He's done it in York Hall. And he filmed it.
Bethnal Green.
Bethnal Green.
I couldn't believe it, Jim, right? When they said that, when Hector said he was going to do a night there and Eddie was going to fight on the card at Bethnal Green, I was like, what the fuck?
You know, any of those boxers apart from Astrid, because if he would have got them a fight on there or any of his shows, the guy's dedicated to what he does. Do you know a lot of people think Hector does nothing? I don't know this guy. I don't need to support him. Don't need to do anything. But let me tell you what I observed and what I noticed. He was training kids all that week in that gym. He was training kids. Some of them have got a lot of social issues, but he was doing it free of charge. He was going out, and he was training them correctly. He was giving them sparring, making sure they're doing the bags. Just my observation when he done the Bethnal Green thing, I said to him, "Will you do us a favour? I'm going to send you some money. Will you give it to the charity? No, for the boxer who was passing away to his family." And he says, "Am I all right buying tickets with it? There's a big, massive raffle going on." And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah." No. And we won 1,500 quid. And he gave it to the charity. Didn't keep it. Didn't do nothing. And I just thought, fucking me, the guy. I just thought he was a prick. The only person who spoiled that night, yes, it shouldn't have been held at that place because there was no Wi-Fi signal. Very limited Wi-Fi. But Astrid fucked that event up by turning up at that event and thinking it was okay all night to sniff. I don't take drugs, but whatever he was taking, fucked that event up. The guy was an idiot.
It really upset me, Jim, because like,
Shocking.
and you have to take my word for it, but like that first time I've ever seen him, I seen this little boy, like I seen this, you know, like I see through all the bullshit, mate, and I seen him, and he was a bit scared, and he was waiting in the corner, and he was on his own that first time when he was boxing Paul, and Paul's got about 20 lads round him. Everybody's like, yeah, and he's all tanned up, ready to go. And there was a side, like, I just looked and I thought, and I was actually friends with Paul, and I just walked away. I didn't crack on to Paul, and I walked straight over to Ash, and I was like, listen, lad, you might be out, you know, you might be out.
At that event, there was some really fucking good people. Do you know the night of where it was supposed to happen? And a lot of people didn't turn up. A lot of people pulled out. Yes, everyone used Aspling as the fall guy because he was the idiot that you could blame. But there was a massive amount of people.
He was a drug.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is now, but he was a drug addict. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't rely on him at all for anything. So
the embarrassment.
He was on a panel the other day. He was on a panel the other day.
Oh, please! I'd feel bad because I shouldn't really be discussing the guy. He's of no relevance to me. But that's not like being a cunt. It's just his life is his life. It's nothing to do with me. I just know that when you're putting your shit on other people, it's out of order. Just do your own thing. Do you know what I mean?
Notice the people who turned up on that night to watch that event. A lot of Xboxes. No, a lot of really tough X fucking boxes. Really fucking excellent. Do you know? And I'm not saying this just to lick anyone's fucking lip. I've got nothing to prove. I went down there. I said that's support it. I didn't give any money to that event. I just supported it by bringing a few fucking bottles of water and just to support it, just to give the support for it, because I thought it was going to be a really good event and it'll take off.
Well, there was good intentions, wasn't there?
That's it, Moon. Like the way Jim's viewing it, and the way I always seen you viewing it was with good intentions, just like myself. Whenever I've engaged with these people, but these guys have got problems, Jim. Do you know what I mean? And me and you, we haven't really, have we? Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't go to another one, would you, Jim? You wouldn't go to another one, would you? After that, you'd just think,
No, I don't. It would have to be more. It would have to be more professional.
Well, you have to get involved when it's like that. Whereas when I went to 3D, you just walked through the door, paid 30 quid, nobody else.
This was a bit more. You've been socialising online with this community for a long period of time, and you just thought this is a great opportunity to show how great this community was or is, and everyone wanted it to fail. There was a huge amount of people who wanted that to fail, and it did. And as soon as it failed, that's it. Then it'll never work. It's shit. But a lot of effort went into that. There was certain individuals who deliberately fucked that event up, literally massively. I feel sorry for the guy. No, at the time, Filmboy, huge. No, it was good what he was doing. Hector, what he was doing. The lads who turned up, Eddie, Dennis, Harlan, the professional boxers and the semi-pro boxers who turned up on just to spar and to help the kids out. It was all fucking good intentions.
I mean, Eddie travelled about 300-400 miles, didn't he? To go to that.
You know, so people don't realise this. When you meet these type of people, there's people who you go, it was lots of respect. Eddie and Dennis and Harlan, and they didn't treat you like a YouTuber or all right, as if it was like speaking to professional people. You held a conversation, you know. We went for a meal. It was really good event up to the fucking night, and idiot the night before.
Well, he did me, Jim, because like I want to put my point across because I never felt like I ever got to with him because he just said bullshit. Like he said silly things that didn't make any sense about me. Like he kept saying, like, you got involved with my ex. No, I did not. I would never do that. You guys know me. I'm not interested in that shit. Do you know what I mean? If somebody that might go into the chat, I don't get involved in any of that. Do you know what I mean? And I never got no one in. Do you know what I mean? And all I'm saying is I try to be right with it. Some people, you know the dance, don't you? You know what I mean? And some people, you're right with them, but I have a family. I have my own life. You cannot just say to me, I'm coming here on Tuesday and that's it. This is how it went. So before any...
No, it's when I turned up at that event, I seen him and his wife. They were standing outside, and I pulled up, and within 5 minutes, they'd introduced themselves, and they came across as absolutely fantastic, lovely couple.
Yeah.
Very sociable, welcoming. Really, we were talking about the show and how we were hoping it's going to go on. And then, honestly, I've never seen a person change.
I know.
So far. I don't hang around with drug addicts. Never in my life. I don't associate with drug addicts. and I watched the guy deteriorate over a very short amount of time through taking drugs openly.
And
Some
that's
of
all it
them.
was with me, Jim. He rung, and I promise you, this is all it is with me. This is the only reason I had an issue. Is he rung me one night. It was about 3 in fucking morning. I'm fast asleep. I get a phone call. Looks at my phone, answers the phone, and I'm getting a load of like craziness on the other end of the phone, and I'm just like, hang on a minute.
That's great.
You need to please leave me alone. Do you know what I mean? I'm not
I've
about
never
that
spoken
life.
to him. I've never spoken to him since. And obviously, he's never tried to contact me. I've never tried to contact him. I've been on panels where he's been to the chat. I've been in the chat when he's been on panels. We don't mention each other. But I'll tell you what I feel. I think he knows I'm a lot older than that guy. And I had turned up at that event with a little bit of respect for him. And I just thought he's a good character. I'll judge him on. And then I think as the evening went on, he realised the respect had totally gone. And
He
I
told
don't
me,
sort of
Jim, he said to me, he said, on a panel, right, said, listen, just leave me, just stay away from him. I'm not interested. Just leave me alone. I don't want any of this bullshit and, Bagsying me for this. But I'm right. I don't want nothing to do with it. You're crazy as fuck. And he is, you know what I mean? He was at the time. I don't know what. Hopefully, I'm hoping and please, I am as well. I pray and I hope
he's
that
changed. Yeah,
people have changed and whatever, but he was crazy. The guy's fucking insane. And I'm like, I don't
no
need,
way to live your life. No way
yeah,
to
do
live
you
your
know what I
life,
mean? I
man.
don't need any of that. And it's like, for him not to understand that, he's like, anyway, whatever. Yeah, I don't really particularly want to speak about the guy because
No,
he
neither
doesn't
do
talk
I.
about me. Do you know what I mean? So,
But I tell you what, the other guys who turned up, yeah, it wasn't the show. People wanted to see that show fail. And it could have been so successful, but it failed. It was a failure. But my hat's off to the people who did turn up to try, because you know what? It ended up 30 to 50 people there. And as I said, a lot of them were Xboxers. There was people there, there was families there who travelled down to watch it. You know, people in the actors' friends, film boys' friends in the community. And it was other YouTubers that turned up. And it just didn't, but the people who were there tried to do something. They just didn't give up. You know what I mean? It wasn't great.
yeah.
Do you think
It
Ash
wasn't.
remembers all that night, Jim? Do you think Ash remembers everything that went on?
I doubt whether Ash remembers. I
At
remember.
that
I
time
doubt
in his
whether
life, he was a bad drug addict. And
he was
I
huge.
don't judge him on his actions because it was
No,
done
that's right.
under narcotics. And
That's why I don't
we've
like
all been
commenting
crazy
on
in
it.
that.
And that's why I based Ash that night was Ash the druggie. It wasn't the Ash string, which I met 40 minutes or 2 hours earlier.
And it's a
It
nightmare, isn't it, Jim? Please, I'm not going on like it's that side of him is unreasonable. It's crazy.
To sit and watch it, you can't speak to those people. You can't have a conversation with them. You can't tell them nothing. They're so far gone. It was unbelievable. You feel scared in a way, you know. Not for you, for them. What are they going to do? Fucking what's there? I just, it was terrible.
I think we're just so like, the interactions you probably have with your wife and things like that, and over the years, and like, there's no way it would ever get that crazy and out of hand where you're having these wild nights where you're doing. I need to be careful. I don't want to speak about what people say.
Tell me what was behind the reason for me going to the Friday Night Fight Club. I was all for it. It was part of the social media community I've been part of and interacting with. But there was talks of Friday Night Fight Club, the next event at the Circus Tavern. And I thought, you know what, I can get really very, very good sponsorship for these events. And I'm not through my own, but through really people who want to invest in communities, help people with different issues. And when I talk about sponsorship, I mean sponsor the whole event so that everything, you don't have to put a coffee link up or a buy me. It's sponsored by people who invest in those type of events. Massive sponsorship. So I had to go back and speak to friends of mine and people I don't know. And they said, is it happening in the circus? And I had to say, you want nothing to do with it. Stay away from it. Forget it. I was so disheartened with it. So disappointed. And this is why I have respect for Film Boy's wife. You could see
I
the
know, yeah, you
disappointment.
do, don't you, Jim? You
The,
do, you do,
effort,
you do.
honest to God, the effort though they put in for that one event. Hector, Film Boy, yes, everyone fell out in the end. We know all that. We know what happens in the end, and people blaming each other. But the effort at the time that those people, the commitment they put in, was second to none. It was fantastic. It's just,
And do you know,
it just
Jim?
didn't work.
I would have done it, and I thought about it long and hard, and I thought me and Hector could probably bounce off each other. I'm sure he like my company and things like that. I'm pretty sure he would. You know, you know, I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm a pro boxer out, but we know the dance, if you know what I mean. Whereas I just couldn't. I had dealings with that Ash, and I realised what I was dealing with straight away, and I couldn't be any part of anything to do with him. And I tried to tell him
Yeah.
without being a prick and like fucking Ash over. I was just like, listen, if you want me out to do with that, he'll fuck it for you. And he was just like that.
You know what matters? If
Yeah,
they
but it
would have
brings numbers. So I kind of listen. It's on his own head. He knew what he were dealing with. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. If they would
So,
have put that
yeah,
event on in a city centre instead of in the middle of a forest where there's only one local pub that was miles away, but you were confined to that one pub, if that would have been on the city centre where Wi-Fi would have been good, people could have just sat there and said, "Okay, Ash, you stay there. Goodbye. Fuck off." Walked it. So that event would have been really good.
Well,
Would have
when he
been
was
really
at
good.
3D Gym, you had some traveller over the back that does a bit of debt collecting. You had a gunman over in corner. You had literally loads of pirates at the bar. And you just had a load of nutcases, and Ash was just sat in corner like a fucking girl. Honestly, that's how it went. And it was a different scenario. So he was like, I seen this
Yeah,
like nicer side of him at first. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
because he couldn't dictate or control that situation.
Yeah, you just had like
Where
30 nutcases in, ready to
exactly.
shank him up if he steps out. Yeah.
right, let's have it from the horse's mouth, Jim. Where were you? Were you at ringside when Eddie was fighting Dennis? Where were you?
I was spot at ringside, right in front of it. In fact, I was going to be Eddie's
What
corner
happened?
man.
Come on, give us the lowdown,
The
Jim.
both
What
of
happened? But
them,
who won?
they, they had a couple of rounds where they were terrible. They boxed like two fairies. Didn't want to hit each other. And then they got told to fucking, no, I think they got a bit of, we're here for a reason. I tell you what, Dennis is the bigger guy. I could put some power in. But I think if it would have went on Eddie just was hitting him too much in the end.
Eddie,
I think if it would have been Eddie's
when Eddie,
speed,
2
but
months
then
after
Eddie's punches
that,
were a bit more precise.
literally 6 weeks after that, Jim, if Eddie had,
Yeah,
and I'm not blowing smoke up Eddie's arse, I think everyone knows I kind
would
of
have,
like Eddie. I've got a
yeah.
soft spot for him, but, and this is nothing against Dennis either, because he's pretty game, Dennis. He just turn up, won't he? You know what I mean? Never do.
Oh, Dennis will fight anyone. He'll get
Listen,
in the ring with anyone.
if we were ever to do anything, I'd invite Dennis. I'd say, Dennis, come on
Yeah,
down, mate.
he's a good.
By all means,
I
if
know
you're
what you
game,
mean.
mate, and
Yeah,
I'd make
I
sure
know what you
everything's
mean.
legit.
Yeah.
There's no money in it. If you come in and fighting with
No,
us lot, there's no money in it. It's just balls. You know what I mean? But and a bit of content for the community, because anything that I post would never be monetized or anything. It'd just be for the community to have a bit of a laugh. You know what I mean? But Eddie,
Eddie's the
2
better
months
boxer.
after
Dennis has
that,
got a heart of like a lion.
would have
Eddie's just got
absolutely
Dennis.
smoked Dennis's
Yeah.
boots clean off him. He got really good, Eddie. You know, like a couple of months after that, he like kept going to
Oh,
that
I've
gym
seen
with
him,
that
mate.
bit of a
I've
nutcase.
seen his videos. Seen
He
his
like
gym
got right
videos.
good.
Yeah, I remember them. I remember them. Yeah.
He just had great big tear ups for lads that were like 2 stone heavier than him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was
man. I mean, it could have been different for Eddie, couldn't it, if that had kicked on? Because there was talk of
oh,
Eddie. I
kicked
know for a
on.
fact Eddie tried to get on that, the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
That's right, that, isn't it?
You could chuck Eddie in with anyone of his size, and he'd make a fight of it, and he'd make it
Yeah.
entertaining. And that's the point, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
listen, Eddie,
good
I'm not blowing
show,
too much smoke up your arse. You're not that fucking good. But what I'm getting at is he'll make a fight of it, and he'll entertain any crowd would be entertained by Eddie's game. Do you know what I mean? He's up for it, isn't he?
Yeah, man. I don't know what happened with that King of the Street, Eddie, but I remember you telling me that you did apply to them, didn't you? I don't know
And
what
I did
happened.
actually as well. I got hold of them as
Is
well.
Eddie
And they
in
said,
the
right,
chat?
shitbag, you didn't get back to me.
Is Eddie in the chat?
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
it. Okay. I'm not saying that.
Eddie's always a mad job, man. Eddie's one rely on.
The
He's
game
always
them
stick
lads
up for
from
me.
Manny, you know, on that King of the Streets. The game them boys.
Oh, are there? Is that still a big thing, like Norris? Is it still going
Well,
strong?
that King of the Ring community would absolutely smash the brains out of anyone that's ever boxed over this. You know, like your Bobby Kays and your Ben Hatchets and all that.
Yeah,
The young lads from council estates that are game as fuck, fit, and they're just banging each other out. You can't watch them
They've
and I
got
think,
gloves on, though, haven't they? They've got
listen,
gloves.
forget that talk, that bare knuckle and this, that, and the other. Listen, it's fucking bullshit. All that you get it with a 10-ounce glove off a fucking 18-year-old lad
You feel it.
that can crack. It's actually
You
worse.
fucking,
It's that
you
bare
feel
knuckle
it.
is. There's a way out with that bare knuckle. I'm telling you. You know when they get a cut on their eye and there's a bit of blood coming down. Nothing really major is landed and they get to walk away. Whereas when you're boxing and you've got 10-ounce gloves on, you're just getting punished round after round.
Comment of the week by Phil Graham there, like.
Yeah.
What is
It
it?
was a beautiful
Eddie cracked
kneecap
it.
uppercut.
Eddie cracked Dennis's kneecap with an uppercut.
And then his calf with a left hook.
Remember this fella, Jim, from back in the day, Andrew Norris?
I
Opinionated
can't
Glaswegian.
Yeah, big up, mate.
Oh, gee,
Big up, OG.
see, as I said, I
He was
go
another
into
pod ref.
He was another
What's the
pod ref
COG?
legend, buddy.
COG, is it motorsports, is it? Don't you go
he's,
into
Pally with motorsports, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man, he pops in now and again. He's got his own channel. I'm sure he started doing lives and that, didn't you, OG? I'm sure he did. They were quite big.
Dare I ask you, Moon? Dare I ask you to change the subject? Be dead rude and interrupt. I'm going to ask you and Jim, because you're not scared to talk. What the fuck is going on with that Burkitt and Dodgy Dave? What's that all about?
Yeah.
Does anyone
in Borough,
poll saying who wins in a
Look,
fight?
I
thought they were mates.
Lawrence was on the live about it yesterday when I mentioned it. Look, the call up was brilliant. 3 options. Fights in Doncaster, fights in Middlesbrough, or let's do the pay-per-view in June. And I thought, I knew fucking money would be involved somewhere.
Hey, Borough's one of the options, isn't it? I want to know where this ring is in Borough.
I gave them option 4 on my live yesterday. I says, why don't you, she's about going to Dundee tomorrow. Just have it out at the back of the fucking car park somewhere.
I kept getting people coming in my chat, you know, for like every like once a week or something. I'd get a comment saying, "Hey, you're all right, you, but shame your mates were buggies." And I'd be like, "I've never spoke to the guy in my life." And then next week I'd get another message going, "Oh, you're all right, you, shame you're a friend with Burkitt." I was like, "I've never even watched his channel." I'm like, "What are you?" You know, like they're like gauging whether you're like trolling them. It's like, I don't give it. If you're listening, I definitely don't. I don't even watch you. Do you know what I mean? I don't even watch your shit. I'm too busy watching turboed fucking escorts.
I had some watch. I had some mentions that on my live yesterday. That was about Dodgy Dave's call out today. I just thought, I just found it humorous. 3 options. I'm going to give you 3 options. Where are going?
Okay. Another option, okay. Doesn't be anything when he says that.
When he mentioned Middlesbrough,
he didn't even say Middlesbrough, Jim. He said Borough as if everyone would know what he was on about. Borough.
You don't think he meant Scarborough?
Well, he said Scarborough was another option, wasn't it?
Oh, what was
Scarborough was another option. Not many people know what Borough is, you know what I mean? But he seemed to think that everyone must.
You know, the problem is, I don't listen to things properly. That's what gets me into trouble.
Oh, it does help if you listen properly, like Jim.
I still think option 4 would have been better. They were
What about
pumpkins up
option?
there.
What about option 5, Jim? Draw a line in the sand and walk away. Is that not an easy
Well,
option?
let's just talk about it for the next year. Nothing will ever happen.
It's not going to happen, is it?
I just draw. If somebody's like really offended me, all I do, mate, is I just draw a line in the sand. Let's go. That'll do, mate. It's in a bit, mate. Do you know what I mean?
What's going to happen? You can go on YouTube every day and talk about it. What's going to happen?
Oh, it's like fucking hell. It's so boring, isn't it?
Fed up about it. That's what I say. You just got to disassociate yourself, but you can still comment about it because I just still do find it funny. And I thought that yesterday was fucking because I don't know where that comes from. In answer to your question, I haven't got a clue. I didn't know. I thought they were best of friends because the last thing I seen was a picture of, and I don't know Tony Baker at all, but I've seen a picture of him standing outside the court with that Simon guy and the fucking idiot guy in a pair of shorts, that Mohican guy. And I thought they all hated each other, but they're all friends. So I just think it's for a load of shit. I think they'll end up fighting on that Simon show on a pay-per-view. It's just for money, mate. That's my opinion.
I think there's a financial thing driving it. Like, where is I don't know. There's so much fucking going on behind the scenes in the gym. You're just guessing, aren't you, at this stage with them? Because there's all this shit. Like, what the fuck's that? Like, what's Android?
If you believe Jim Norris, if you believe Jim, right, Jim will have you believe that they're all talking behind the scenes. They all have meetings. They all go to the gym.
Yeah, they're all having meetings. I can tell you that. It's all script. I think they've actually got a script writer. They're all sitting there to tell them what to say, who's to go on, what they're going to talk about, who's going to troll them, who's going to put comments in so they can spam for it, and who should be putting the coffee links up, PayPal, make sure everyone's got the PayPal to put it out there. But I'm stupid, so what the fuck do I know?
Yeah. I think it's good for everybody on here to have differences of opinions and things like that. And I think there's too much of this. Right, we're doing an expose because somebody robbed a bottle of milk in 1983. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of that going on all the time, and you're like, yeah, big deal. The name's fucking, you know what I mean? Whatever, like. And I wish this.
I'm going to put the evidence up in 6 months.
Yeah, that's it. I've got it screenshotted. I'll let you know when it lands and all that shit. Who cares? You know what I mean? It's like bullshit. It's like high school shit. I tell you, I'm finding to be quite repulsive to watch, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of stick for this, but it doesn't matter to me because I don't really come on here much. That Danny G is just what is that all about? What is
he's a big fella, isn't he? He's just a one-off him. Fuck me.
That's crazy.
That's now what I can say. I watch him, mate. I watch his golf stuff because it's hilarious, but I understand all the other shit that he says is just unbelievable, man.
We were going on and listening the other morning. He was, and please, I don't want to sit here and ride the back out of him, but he's making a living out of this. He's trying to anyway, and he's putting himself out there in a way in which, he wants everybody to watch him and talk about him. So, okay, I'll talk about you. So, you stood there and you're like throwing punches at a camera. You're telling everyone how hard you are. You literally, this is no shit. This is word for word. If I had a BKB fight, I wouldn't do it because I'd be scared what I'd do to somebody. I'm scared what I'd do in an MMA ring, so I couldn't do it. I'd have to put great big gloves on just to protect the other person. Well, I'm telling you now, that's the biggest crock of shit I have ever heard in my life. You need a reality check. You need to turn up at a boxing gym and get in with a 18-year-old lad who's 13 stone, the same weight as you. He'll light you up like a Christmas tree. You'll come out and feel like a girl, and you'll probably never throw another punch in your life.
Yeah. No one's seen him throw a punch, a proper punch to somebody. Nobody's seen it.
But it's like me, like I hit the bags and this, that, and the other. But please, and this is please, I don't want to make out and take anything away, even from people who I reckon I'd beat. I still keep my gob shut because I think they're doing it. I shouldn't disrespect them by saying that I do. He's talking like Muhammad, fucking Bruce Lee, this, that, and the other. And then I put in the chat. I just wrote in the chat and I just said, "Why don't me and you get your hand sorted? I'll jump in my car. Well, me and you do 3 2-minute rounds." Then his response was, "Why the fuck would I spar some nobody? I need 50 bags. I need this. I need that. I'm no pro boxer." And then 10 minutes later, he's on his live telling people how to throw left hooks. And I just thought, this don't make sense. You know, like, I'm asking you, do you want to make? And he knows who there's no chance on earth he doesn't know who I am because he's fucking cracked onto me a few times. So, anyway, not that I'm
KSI and Jake Paul know who he is. They both know who he is. They know Danny G, KSI and Jake Paul, you know. They know him. Come on.
I feel a bit sorry for him. I want to get him. No cameras, no nothing. I'm 11 stone, got a bit of a belly on me, bit of arthritis. I want to make him miss. I want to make him pay. I want to have a right good session with him. I want him to make him know that he's had a fucking good time. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of it, I reckon he'd be a lot more humble. And I think he'd be a bit of a nicer guy at the end of it. No cameras, no fuck all. Just, you got a gym, mate? I'll fly up. That's all I'm talking. Just a bit of a reality check. Maybe it might be one for me. Do you know what I mean? Let's find out. That's what I was up for, but bit silly, really. Bit silly to talk like that,
but everyone on here knows that I watch Danny G, but I give my opinion on him as a sane average Joe Blogs, you know, and like you can't listen to Danny G and think that that's normal.
Yeah, it's really pathetic of me to even text that in his live. I'll be honest. I thought when I texted it, I was like, you know, when I put me and you should do a couple of rounds, I just thought, how pathetic am I? Do you know what I mean? It was early in the morning. I was having a bad morning.
Yeah. Hey lads, it's been an absolute belter, right? I've got to get some kip.
Yeah, peace out, mate. Cheers for having us on, Moon.
Norris, always, mate, and just, you know what I mean. When you see me live, man, you know what to expect. This crack, yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah, peace out, mate. I'll let you do your final speech. I'll let you get off. Nice to see you again, Jim. Good to see you, Moon.
Respect.
God bless you, boys. Thanks a lot for the chat as well. Big up the chat. Hit the likes for Moon. Come on. If you're not subscribed already, fucking.
Jimbo, it's been. I've kept you up. Haven't I, mate? But respect, man. We always have a good bit of banter. But it's not even slagging people off. We just say what we think. You know what I mean, Jim?
It's the way to look at it.
You going home tomorrow?
We're looking forward to it. Yeah, I am.
Are you going to take the wife to Wetherspoons on Friday, or?
No, she can't, miss.
Yeah. 2 for 1, innit? 2 for 1.
Did he still do that in Wetherspoons?
Well, I'd say it's that cheap. It might as well be. You've had a bad experience tonight, haven't you? Just anything's better than that, innit? With the food.
With the food, yeah. Look, I'm going to let you go. Get on with the show, and I'll catch you. See you later, chat. Take care.
I'll see you in about, mate. See you in a bit. Whew. Another 4-hour live there, people. Here, respect. Paul, respect. First time you've been in the chat for a while. I don't get a chance to speak to you. But if you keep coming in here, mate, you'll see that they're all good people in here, man. We just have a bit of banter, and you're a butter, man. You know the score. Few people, Randy, YouTube idiots, mate. Respect for coming in and putting your input in the chat. You know what I mean? It means a lot, because you're one of my favourites on here. You know that. And I'm always watching, mate. I'm always watching a lot more. Even when I don't go in chats, I'm always watching. Eddie, you know the score. Nostog, we've made Nostog's night go a little bit faster. He'll be finishing in a few hours. I'm going to stick my earphones in and fall asleep. And I don't have to be up in the morning either. Fucking brilliant. So where you're off? Is there anyone I might just listen to the end of tunes and see what was going on there. So if I don't see you in a chat tonight, I'll catch us all probably tomorrow sometime. Respect everyone. Yeah, man. I'll be tuning in. There we go, people. Doris versus Paul C. Get on it.